There are no gods, only teeth. Thin is the veil betwixt man and the godless deep. The skies are haunted by that which is madness to know, and strange abominations pass evermore between the earth and moon and athwart the galaxies. Unnameable things have come to us in alien horror, and will come again. And the evil of the stars is not as the evil in the earth. And I know this because I saw it in a public toilet. Welcome to the Fluffenhammer. Roll the music. Or don't. I'm not your dad.
Every man lives, not every man truly dies.
I know we're perfect strangers, and I'm reaching out to you. We got to be together, but I haven't a clue how we beat up. I could need some of you. Straight up, there is nothing else I'd rather do. Sit tight, you may think it's in the rain. We need to get back. We need to get back.
Monkford has just said in the chat, on time, who are you all and what have you done with the Fluffenhammer? Fair enough.
Doesn't mean we'll get on topic.
It's
No,
true. There's
no.
time yet. You know?
Yeah, I mean, we're literally just started, and I'm going to start
It's
the...
just starting, and we've already been on tangents about like David Lynch and all sorts of stuff, so I'm sure that'll continue.
just because it'll make for absolutely terrible audio. Yes, let's continue that conversation that we've already had half of. So, Bob,
So yeah, Bob in Twin Peaks,
yeah.
living
Yeah,
symbol.
you're absolutely right. For what you were saying, George, you're absolutely right. That one scene that you just described in
Yeah.
absolute detail, that's horrible. That's a horrible,
It
horrible
is.
scene.
I
And,
think I described it as one of the most harrowing scenes in cinema, and now we're not going to tell anybody what it is.
Nope. I watched a film this week that I want to tell you guys about.
No. What's the film?
I'll come to that in a minute. So, as always, I am Gruffy. I'm your host and friend. And with me, of course, is George over on...
Yep. Hello, guys.
I'm hoping that this is the same way round for you as it is me. On this side, there's George. And down here, there's Andy.
Yes. That's
Were you
exactly how it
actually-
works on Twitch.
Yeah, I hope you weren't sort of pointing or gesturing there, Gruff.
Oh, I was just... Up here is George.
Yeah, no.
No? Okay, all right. fair
No,
dues.
sorry.
How are you guys
Sorry
doing
again.
this evening? Beside
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Yeah, all good, all good. You know, like yourself, really busy for the last few days, but yeah, it's good to be doing a bit of Warhammer again.
Absolutely. And we will get to Warhammer at some point.
We
trust
will,
me.
absolutely, we
Yeah.
will. I mean, you know, sort of a brief tangent aside, I've been reading the second book of The End and the Death. Hey
Starting that
guys,
tonight.
anyone in the chat reading that at the moment? And The End and the Death Part 2? Whoa, right?
How far through are you?
A lot. I'm about halfway. I'm about
Damn.
halfway.
That's about
It's,
just two normal Warhammer books, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, but it's like the first. In fact, I'd say it's actually better written than the first one. It feels even more like Dan Abnett really knows what he's doing
Okay.
with this. It's very good. It's very, very good for a book of its size and with so many narratives and plots going on. It's oddly concise, and it's not difficult to follow.
Okay.
It's very good. I'm really enjoying it. And it's really getting into the warp shit at the moment as well, you know, the really sort of like non-Euclidean, Lovecraftian reality breaking down stuff, which I love. There's a sequence where he just describes what's happening on Terra, and one of the things that happens is you've got like Imperial Guard units who are bombing what seems to be the enemy ahead of them, and the shells are falling on them.
What?
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Oh.
Reality isn't working anymore.
Mhm.
Reality is breaking down. Time, dimension, space. People are walking through doors and down corridors and ending up on other parts of the planet.
I mean, we've all been there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I operate in non-Euclidean spaces, but it's interesting hearing other people experience them.
So what you're telling me is that the entirety of Terror is now existing in the Birmingham Hilton when TFN's on.
Yes. Oddly, yes. Yeah, that's a very good metaphor for it,
Time
actually.
is meaningless.
Time is
It is.
meaningless, dimension
Yeah.
breaks down, distance, yeah. You can wander through the corridors for ages and end up like in the parking lot or yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
And after 4 years of going, you find yourself in a duck pond that you were sure wasn't there last year.
Yes, yeah. It always
It's a very.
seems a subtly different shape to me. I always get the feeling that I've been Mandela affected, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you. Every year you went, it was something slightly different.
Yeah.
Like it
Every
was the.
single time.
I think it was the last year I went. It was what happened to the shop? Why is there a tanning booth in the shop? There
Yeah.
wasn't enough space to put a sunbed in here.
I'm
I
fairly
thought you, I
certain.
thought you were specifically talking about the duck pond.
Why is there a tanning booth in the duck
In the
pond?
duck pond.
Why are the ducks getting tans?
Yeah.
What's a town without ducks?
What's a town without ducks?
It ain't nothing. It ain't shit.
It ain't shit.
Oh yes, Warhawk is very, very good.
War duck.
Very, very good indeed. Did you say War Duck, Adam? That would have made it a very different story, wouldn't it?
What's terror without ducks? It ain't nothing. It ain't shit.
That's why I got invaded by a horse.
Yeah. I quite like the idea of Horace turning up. It's like, oh, I got all these goddamn psychers going straight edge and shit.
He's trying to bring ducks back to Terra. The invasive species that the ducks would cause on Terra would be catastrophic for human populace.
Well, considering that like humanity by that point has basically wiped out the entire ecosystem of Terra, yeah.
Well, you got to. I think you've got to consider what is a duck in the 41st millennium. How have they
Yes.
evolved?
Yeah, what have they evolved into? I mean, some of
I'd-
them can be vicious bastards enough, you know, as
Yeah.
they are now.
Is a duck in the 41st millennium just a normal-looking rubber duck but giant? So quite dangerous to a person if that was true.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Oh my god, yes.
I am taken away from this conversation that Jatro is now in fact the Emperor of Mankind, and I'm there for that. I am absolutely there for Jason Trost being Big Money E. That's something I quite enjoy.
Do you think Perturabo ever made himself a wooden duck?
He probably did, you know. I mean, he was
Yeah.
always very busy in that little workshop of his making little mechanical toys, wasn't he? That was his hobby, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing.
Adam's laughing. That's it. That's true.
Yeah, no,
That's
the
actually
reason
true.
I just got in my head the idea of Perturabo creating the Terran duck, which is like the Trojan horse, but a duck.
You got to get in through the wall somehow. Don't
Yeah.
let
Yeah.
you in normally. Oh,
The
that's a
notion of
fine
like
duck.
corn berserkers pouring out of a big duck.
Oh, I'm in. I'm there for it. Absolutely. Just the idea. It's like there's just a giant duck in orbit around our planet.
Should that be like a minor competition on the Discord? People need to buy some big rubber ducks, add some wheels to them, and make
Tracks,
them into
like
a
spiked tracks or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Make a demon engine out of a rubber duck. It can
Yeah.
look shit as well. It doesn't matter. It would be
Yeah, yeah,
funnier
yeah.
the shitter it is.
Give it some
Would it-
corn bunny ears, you know.
Yeah.
Would
Something
you call
like
it? Would you call it a War Machine Most Foul?
Oh.
Oh,
No. I can press the start button at any time.
yeah, absolutely.
I have that power.
This can be terminated, you know.
So I'm going to tell you about a film. So I watched a film this week called Glorious, and it's a film about a guy who you get the idea he's just been through a horrible breakup. He's driving somewhere. He stops at a roadside restroom, just toilets, nothing else, and he gets drunk, sets fire to all of the clothes that belong to his ex-girlfriend. Wakes up the next morning, massive hangover, goes into a toilet, finds himself locked in a toilet with an elder god.
As
who is
as you do,
yeah,
you know.
and the elder god is voiced by J.K. Simmons.
Okay, that does really interest me.
It
Although you need
is.
to be, you know, take it from me, you want to be wary of elder gods hanging around public bathrooms.
Well, the only way he can talk to this elder god is through a glory hole in the toilet wall. It is
right.
hence the term glorious.
Okay.
It is
Interesting
one of the,
conceit.
it is one of the most enthralling films I have seen in years. Because all it is this one guy
locked in a toilet with an elder god in the stall next to him.
Right.
That's all. That's it.
Is it a specific elder god, or is it just like a nebulous elder god?
He's named and everything, but it's not
Yeah.
anything from any.
It's not one that
No.
is known,
No.
as it were.
No,
I think I saw that movie, but in the end, he didn't actually have to talk to the elder god to get out of the bathroom. He had to do something else.
he had to do something to Yes,
Oh.
he had to satisfy the elder god.
Okay,
Which
interesting.
leads.
I was making a joke. I didn't think he actually had to do. Oh no!
Oh no! Which leads to the amazing
Oh
line
no!
in J.K. Simmons's absolute brilliant tone. What the fuck is that? That's my penis. Why would I want your penis?
Oh, so the elder god's not sucking him off. He's sucking off the elder god's sucking him off.
No. It's
Oh, okay.
actually when he says to satisfy him, it's a ritual that he has to do.
Right.
But
Okay.
it's all said in such a way where it could go either way, and you don't know which way it's going to go.
It's just double entendres all the way down.
Until he presents
basically.
himself through the glory hole, much to the disgust of the elder god.
Interesting.
Which does lead. I'm not doing this ritual. Well, 5 minutes ago you're about to offer me your penis, so I don't know why you're complaining. It's so good, but also there's a real sense of danger to it because this Gak is the only way to pronounce it. It's brilliant. It's like, so to pronounce my name, you need to grab hold of your tongue and pull it as hard as you can. And then try to say, "Get out, Christmas." That's not a bad way. It's like, what the shit is this film?
Okay, what platform is this on, Gruff?
Shudder.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I should have at least noticed that because I hang around Shudder
Well,
quite a lot. Interesting.
So it came when it originally came out. It had a picture of a guy sort of leaning against a wall, and it was all very somber looking. And then somewhere in the last couple of months, they changed the cover of it to look more like Color Out of Space.
Oh, interesting.
Which is like,
Interesting.
right, okay, because
That,
the way,
yeah,
from the way it's described in the picture, it looked like a very, very Poe-faced film.
yeah.
But he did all that, and they changed the blurb for it, and went, actually, okay, this looks like it could be fun, and I'm so glad I watched it. It's really,
Interesting.
really good.
It sounds a bit misadvertisement though, because if it's advertised in a similar way to Color Out of Space, it's not from the sounds of it.
No.
Color Out of the Space
It
is
sounds
very
like tonally a
Lovecraft.
very, very different film.
Yeah.
I mean, like
Oh,
Color Out of
absolutely it
Space
is.
is like Lovecraft down the line, isn't it? You know, in tone and everything.
It's also really, really good. So if nobody's watched Color Out of Space, I recommend you watch Color Out of Space.
It's as good as an adaptation of that story can be. I mean, when I saw they were adapting it, I was like, how do you even do that? Because the whole point of the Color Out of Space is the color cannot be defined. You can't determine what it is with human eyes, so you can't portray it, right? But they do a decent enough job with it, and it's a good film. I mean, it's a very well done film, and Nick Cage being really, really good. It's just being Nick Cage,
I wonder if a mantis shrimp could have portrayed the color out of space. Could it have seen the color from the color of outer space?
It's an experiment.
Yeah.
But if it could, how would you know? Would it be
That's
like,
it. How would you know?
It would
How
start
would it
screaming.
communicate? Yeah. Well, that's it. It would start mutating and screaming. And,
This is a very good point. You would know quite quickly. Yes.
No.
Actually,
You're wrong. A mantis shrimp cannot mutate. It's already a mutant. It cannot change any further apart from turn into a puddle. If there's a Xencian creature on Earth, it's a mantis shrimp.
It's a mantis shrimp. Yeah, absolutely. They're so fucking weird.
Yeah, fascinating creatures too. Love
They
them.
are. They're brilliant.
Do you guys? Have you guys heard the cephalopod theory?
No.
This is brilliant. So, cephalopods are completely unlike any other species on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everything about them is unique to that genus.
Mm-hmm.
There's a theory that cephalopods actually came from a different bacterial source, which came down on an asteroid.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they
yes, I
came
think
from.
I have read this somewhere.
So it means that all cephalopods are in fact alien.
Well, maybe.
Kind of,
In a way, because it's a completely different bacteria gene
Yeah.
pool that they've evolved from, and that's
Interesting.
amazing to me.
That's really interesting, actually. And
So what you're saying is we should only eat them because they're not from our planet.
because they're not from our planet.
We should become incredibly xenophobic and have only crustaceans, although that kind of species, and eat them.
What I'm saying is,
Because that's
when
pretty
the,
cool. I like that. That's pretty based.
when the master bastard squid rate starts rising from the oceans to get you with like 17 knives, you've got every right to shoot them. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, at the moment, it's a case of, yeah, bring it on. Great. You know,
I, for one-
absolutely. I, for one, welcome,
welcome.
our cephalopod overlords. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Can they do a worse job than humanity?
I'm not sure I'd want to eat a giant octopus because, like, normal octopus or like squid's quite rubbery, and that's not my kind of palate. You know.
No. I'm
Not-
partial
I
to
never
some-
quite got it.
if it's rubbery, it's cooked wrong. This
Yes.
is me with my cook's
it?
head on. Yeah,
I thought it was always meant to be
overcooked.
like that.
No, no.
Ah.
Octopus
you
and
get-
squid, when it's cooked properly, is absolutely delicious. It's tender and it shouldn't bounce. You know,
What's it feel like in the mouth? Is it more like fish or is it more
kind
like
of
meat?
dissolves. It's really
Ah.
unusual. It's unique. It's completely unique. It just
It's not like cotton
dissolves.
candy though, where it just like you
No,
put it in
it
water
doesn't
and
go
it
fibrous
vanishes.
or anything. No, it doesn't go
Okay.
fibrous or anything like that. But it more or less just goes. You know, it's a
Yeah.
you know, the texture almost is not there. You know.
You know
Okay.
how a Pez dissolves in your mouth.
Okay,
right?
Yes. Yeah.
Imagine a non-sweetie Pez, and you're pretty much halfway there.
Is it fish? Does it taste fishy?
Octopus, it's
Yeah.
almost
No,
sweet.
it's
Octopus
salty,
is sweet.
but-
Yeah, salty
Salty,
and
that makes
sweet.
Salty
sense.
sweet, yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Really unusual. Really
Mm.
unusual. And squid's very subtle. It's a very subtle flavor. Squid is
Wow.
fishier than octopus is,
Mm.
but it's very
Sometimes
subtle,
that puts
very
me
light.
off when like something's too fishy. When you're just like,
Mhm.
damn, that's a fish. That's
You
a
should be
hell of a
alright with
fish.
squid then, because
Yeah.
it's very subtle. You do kind of need to have other things with it, you know.
Yeah.
But
Next
it's very
time-
nice. It's
Next
very
time I
nice.
meet up with Yandy, I will take you somewhere that feeds you squid.
I'm just tied down. I don't want to eat it, and you just pushing it into my mouth, and I'm crying.
Well, you know, like when you go to choose a lobster, and it's like, I want that one.
Inchy.
It'd be that kind of restaurant. Only you're thrown into the tank with a little tiny shiv, and you've got to fight the squid.
You've got to
Oh,
fight
that's
a
pretty
squid.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. That's
Yeah,
a fair way of doing it.
I think the
Uh,
very best squid I ever had was in Crete, and it was on the northeast
Mhm.
coast in a little town called Koutalafari, and there's a restaurant there on just directly on the coast, and they catch all their fish that day, and I had it was a squid stuffed with black rice and all sorts of stuff. Wow.
Did you meet an old hobo in the streets and he said, "Welcome to Imboka"?
No, that didn't
Oh,
happen.
damn.
No, sadly not.
When we were in Rhodes, we found it was a restaurant that was right on the cliff edge, and all of its meals were historical. So you ordered the meal, but then you got like history of the meal and how the meal had gone through like Greek history. Fascinating stuff.
That's
I want to do-
really cool.
Oh, it was amazing. Also, that was like the biggest thunderstorm with the most rainfall that they'd had in like 6 years that night as well. So I was sitting there eating all of this, like we had squid, we had like beef pie, just watching this massive storm happening overhead on the cliff edge of Rhodes, of Pefkos.
Wow.
It was brilliant. And then we went to a cocktail bar and got absolutely hammered.
I haven't been to Rhodes since I was a kid, and I friggin' loved Rhodes. I'd love to go back.
Rhodes is great. It's just lovely. You know, Lindos and Pefkos are just such wonderful places to go around. You know, you get up into the really, really interesting parts of the towns, and you're away from the. What we did every morning was we left the hotel, picked a direction, and just went that direction.
That's the best. It's the best thing to do, isn't it? You know.
One day we picked a direction, and it took us up into the mountains, and that was really fun until we came to the cave that was just covered in animal bones, and just went around.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Funny
that's,
thing about Rhodes and most of the Greek islands, if you pick a random direction, you're going to hit mountains anyway, aren't you? It just doesn't matter
yeah.
where you go, you know.
Well, that's all the ancient volcanic mountains.
There's
are.
mountains everywhere. Yeah, absolutely.
Should we talk about some Warhammer?
Should we do Warhammer?
Sure.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Let's do it before we get on
Well-
to something else.
Well,
you know?
I do have to say that David said, right, we're going to have a bit of time till they get back to Warhammer, so I'm going to grab a drink.
It's true. It's absolutely true. We like to give you these moments so you can go and refresh yourselves. That's what it's all about. It's a service. That's what it is.
He came back and said, I'd like to point out, I've limped downstairs, dropped my tray off in the kitchen, gotten my drink, limped back upstairs, and we're still talking about not Warhammer.
That was only 6 minutes, though.
True.
That wasn't so bad. As our
Yeah.
tangents go, that was all right, wasn't it? That wasn't so terrible.
So, speaking of Warhammer, I want to talk to you guys about the entire history of Alaskan television. So we're going to start here in 1922.
No, we're not.
No, we are, however, going to talk about stalagmites and stalactites. So stalagmites... No, all right, okay.
No.
We're going to talk about some Warhammer. We're going to talk about stuff from the World Championships preview, and we're going to get...
stuff, wasn't there?
If we have time, we'll get into some of the stuff that came out after that. We shall see how we go. So we'll kick it all off then with a little bit of Warhammer Underworlds. Death Gorge! Gorge. Because we're going to get some orcs. And,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to... We all know my feelings about
Yeah, these are the
Krill
type
boys.
of the ones you're not that fond of, aren't they, Adam?
Yes, I don't like the Krill boys. I think they are too Lord of the Ringsy and not Warhammer enough. However, they are probably the best I've seen the Krill boys, and it's hit me that if you painted these up as in like human skin tones, what you actually have is some great chaos-looking tribesmen.
Yeah, actually, you could go with that, and it would work. It would work.
I think it would work really well.
I mean, and they're gorgeous minis, aren't they? I mean, they are really well. Even if you don't really like this particular aesthetic, they're really well done.
Oh yeah, the design. It is the style of them that I don't like. It's not the the work that's gone into them. I mean, look at the orc with the blower. That is an awesome blower.
It's great, I know. It's really, really cool. And his face sculpt is beautiful. I mean, like, they're knocking it out the park with like the very highly detailed face sculpts at the moment.
Yeah, I mean the fact that the guy with the trumpet's actually blowing it.
Yeah.
And I'm struggling to think of another miniature that actually had the cheeks puffed out.
Yeah, it's good.
Pelicans.
Pelicans.
Been doing it for years.
Yes, that Age of Sigmar. Why is there no pelican miniatures? God damn it.
What?
It's just occurred to me there that we've got loads of different animals, and with the Cities of Sigmar, you've got all the little gargoylians, which are amazing. I mean, I've really gone into a deep dive on them this week, actually. Jeez, they're great. But yet we haven't had a pelican familiar.
No,
they'd have to go with the Ideneth, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. It could either be Ideneth or maybe Zeech. You know, the bird motif.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Pelican keep Lord of Change.
That would be friggin' hilarious, wouldn't it?
Ooh.
Pelican Lord of Change. Wow.
Just like with his mouth wide open, he's just swallowing something. He's just swallowing an actual Lord of Change.
I mean, looking at the actual Lord of Change model, you could do that if you just like removed the lower part of the beak and then sculpted it. You could do that.
Yeah. You have to stretch out the top part of the beak to get that big spoonbill look.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's actually quite doable. You could do it and then have the Karos Fate Weaver and have the two heads and have one as a pelican and the other as a flamingo, and the pelican head is swallowing the flamingo head.
Now, the flamingo would be great. If you based the Lord of Change on a flamingo, did like the paint scheme, God, that'd be so striking, wouldn't it?
Just neon pink.
Yeah, so striking.
I'm into that.
Taking a little bit of Slanesh's thunder, but still.
Well, I've always said the change of ways needed to be sexier.
Yeah.
And apparently flamingo you find sexy.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I can neither confirm nor deny.
But no, I mean
See,
they're decent. They're decent minis, you know.
I would say in the scope of Underworlds, these are probably the most boring figures we've had in a while.
Yeah.
When you compare them with the dynamicism of, say, the three Slanesh dudes we saw last time, or a lot of the other ones, I think these just look like standard Uruks, right? They just look like the ones that you'd put this group in the army, and I don't think they particularly stand out desperately among the rest of them.
No.
That's definitely true.
I do like the trumpet blower. Don't get me wrong. I think the trumpet blower is fine. The guy with the weird flail thing just looks like a normal Orc dude. The leader kind of looks a little bit distinct with his weird rooster kind of bill on his head. But apart from that, you could, if you told me that this guy was an individual hero from a card for 20 quid, I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, fair enough. I wouldn't think he's a special character. And then the last one, just again, to me, looks like a standard warrior.
He does look very, very standard.
They are well done, I think, for Underworlds, which I think has a pretty high standard for like interesting model design and unique takes that stand out. I think this is a big ball drop, at least from my perspective.
No, I can definitely see where you're coming from, Andy. I mean, they are well done. They're well sculpted. There's nothing wrong with them per se, but they're not popping, are they? They're not as dynamic or characterful. And certainly when you compare, like you said, you compare them to like that Slanesh warband. Whoa. I mean, yeah.
I think the problem is that every Underworlds and even Warcry as well, warband, they've always got a narrative that is played out within the miniatures. Or at least they attempt to try and do that. Whilst these guys are just there.
They're kind of just there, aren't they?
Do they not have any like lore to them? I mean, I'm sure they do.
I'm sure they do, but it's not like it's not evident in the miniatures per se.
Like compare this set to the that big ogre pirate and his weird little like monkey and stuff like that. Which do you think's better? A big ogre and a monkey, and I think he had something else as well, right? Like a parrot. It's like that's more interesting because it's weird. This is just
Well, the lore for this is actually quite good. Dagok Finkstealer has only one simple goal: to decapitate as many champions as he can, steal their know-whats, and increase his own cunning, and become the most conniving kill boss ever. He's assembled his stab lads, a band of cruel boys enthralled to their boss's vision to crump anyone who gets between him and his next noggin. So, this guy kills people, takes their heads, and eats their brains.
So you tell me he's less good squeak head taker.
Yes.
Or squeak head taker.
What I was actually
and he doesn't even
was,
have the heads on his back as a giant trophy rack.
A couple of skulls on him, but that's really about it.
They missed the trick there, didn't they? With the spikes on his back, not sticking like loads of heads on him.
If he's a head taker, why not have like kneecaps, which are skulls, elbow pads, which are skulls? Like he's wearing like two different skulls stitched together for a helmet. His shoulder pads are just skull. Like just make him the Skull Man, just made out of skulls.
I wonder if these guys were originally meant to be just normal release stuff, and they've just kind of like pumped them out here just to get them out there.
Yeah. Like I say, flat. For me, very flat. I know you two were a bit more positive on them, but
they're not.
Me, I look at them, I'm like, eh.
Yeah, I don't think they're bad.
No.
At all. No. They're just not there. They don't have that.
If I'm going to give them a rating out of 10, it would be 5 Greebly Poobles out of 10. The very average mark, I would say.
Yeah.
I mean,
give them a weird swamp creature.
Yeah. No, I mean, the entire thing of the Cruel Boys is that they are coming out the swamps and they've got these like weird beasties with them. So why isn't one of them? Absolutely. That's
They've got a giant vulture, so do a weird cassowary.
Yeah, why not?
Mm.
Already mean in real life, just make them meaner.
Yeah, AOS them up a bit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
But I don't disagree with you in any way. I mean, obviously these are Cruel Boys, so I'm like already starting at like, ugh.
Yeah,
so The fact I've got anything positive to say about them is pretty, is pretty good.
Monkfin says, controversial. I find all Underworld warbands kind of dull.
Oh, wow.
They have personalities, but ... See, I mean, it's a personal preference kind of thing at the end of the day, but I think a lot of them generally are very interesting visually. Like the vampires are great. I love all 4 of those vampires. I think they go really well into the Vampire Count's army. Skeletons, they're like one of the first releases. They're fine. They're a bit more dynamic than the skeletons were at the time, but we've got better skeletons since then. So they're just kind of meh. You know, some of them are better than others, but you know,
definitely.
Yeah.
And as we keep banging on about that, Slaanesh one was a high point.
Yeah, that was a really good one. There's only 3 of them, which is the only bad thing about that set, I think.
But each one is so interesting.
You finally get a fat one too.
Yes, at long last.
Finally,
you get like what a demonette looks like from the Circle of Gluttony, right?
Yeah,
brilliant. I mean, when they redo the standard demons, and they are well overdue, by the way, the Plague Bearers, Bloodletters, Demonettes, and Pink Horrors. That's the way they should go with the Demonettes. Make it so you can cobble them together from the different circles of Slaanesh's realm.
Yeah.
Make that kit so various, so many bits. It'll be so much fun.
I agree. I've just noticed something here.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you remember how over the last year or so we have talked about how Kragnos just wandered off and was never heard of again? So Dagrok's Herald, Hurg the Howler, carries a horn that sounds out the roar of Kragnos when blown, granting support for allies within 2 hexes. So, there's the thing. There's some Kragnos.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. It's
interesting that he's kind of been recessed in that way, isn't it?
Yeah. Kragnos, the big destructive force that is Kragnos, he went away.
To be fair, the new big destructive force that we'll get onto is a bit better. I think.
God, isn't it just? Oh my God.
I'm not biased or anything, but
No, but bloody hell.
We'll get to him.
Bloody hell.
We'll get that. We'll get that.
Yeah. God, yeah. When we get there, but it's exciting, right?
Yes, I've actually spent time thinking about how to layer these news stories this week, rather than just doing them in order.
Okay.
Should we move,
what have we got? Yeah.
Should we move into some Kill Team? Kill Team.
Yep. Kill Team. Right. Okay.
Some Night Lords in Kill Team.
Oh my God, they're so good.
They're
so good.
Is this technically the biggest kill team in terms of model count? Because there are a lot of Space Marines.
There's a lot of them, aren't there?
Because it's just
a Marine kill team, right?
Because it's just a standard Chaos box set, right, with an upgrade sprue. That's how it's working, right? So is that the reason why there's like way more than there should be generally?
Maybe,
Yes.
but what an upgrade sprue! I mean, I love the miniatures themselves. I've got a thing about the Night Lords aesthetic. I think they look fantastic, but it's what this indicates for what might be coming down the line, which is something you see with Kill Team quite a lot. They seem to suggest like where the model range is going to go in 40k, and if they're going to release upgrade kits or for the legions when the Chaos Space Marines come out, they're like, oh yes, please, yes, please.
I have often thought that the Night Lords Batwing helms have a tendency to look a bit silly.
Yeah.
Sweeping them back like they've done here is the perfect way to dealing with that. It is.
Yeah, it really works.
Gorgeous. And having it so the wing part is actually attached to the rebreather at the front rather than over the eyes.
Clever. That's really clever.
It does such a great job in just creating this sweeping feel, this high-collared feel for anybody who doesn't have the top half of the helmet. And it's beautiful,
I've always had a soft spot for the Night Lords ever since Second Ed, because if you remember in Second Ed, it's the weirdest thing, but the Night Lords were the studio army back then, not the Black Legion. It was Night Lords, and they featured on all the boxes in all the photographs.
Did they have lightning bolts on them in those images or not?
Oh,
they did. Wow.
Yeah. Back then, that was where that imagery was established.
Oof.
Way back then. Way back when.
I've always thought if I was ever going to do a Night Lord's army, I would do them in the blackest black. Like I'd buy black 3.0, color everything in black apart from just the reds of their eyes.
Yeah.
Anything that's got a glow would have a glow.
They're meant to be scary, aren't they? They're like fear incarnate, right? That's their modus operandi. So yeah, make them scary. And these guys, they're getting there, aren't they? They're edging towards that. They look much more serrated and sort of nastier than your standard Chaos Space Marines, which, by the way, Night Lords are They are
Yeah.
like basically serial killers in Space Marine form. They are bad guys. They're one of, I mean, in 40k, the universe of 40k, where there's no good guys at all. These guys are the baddest of the bad. It's not like, say, even like the Emperor's Children, for example, who murder and mutilate and torment in the most elaborate ways, but they have at least ideology. They have belief, right? And they have a god to serve. These guys have got nothing. They're
Yep.
all, they don't serve the chaos gods, these guys. They don't give a fig about the chaos gods. They do it because they like it. They're bad guys. They're like fundamentally bad guys. I kind of love their purity.
Yeah, I mean, the idea that they exist purely to kill, and not just to kill, but to kill in the most inhumane and not agonizing. What's the word I'm looking for here?
No, that's
Embarrassing
true.
way. Yeah,
Well,
it's agonizing, but
disgraceful way. I mean,
yeah,
like,
disgraceful. That's the word I'm after. Yeah.
They're almost like psychic leeches. It's almost like they, increasingly as time goes on, it's like they feed on pain and they feed on fear and disgrace. They are so evil. It's unbelievable.
Is there any of the?
Oh, sorry.
Go on, Andy. Go.
I can see one problem with this set from a personal thing, and it's similar to the Imperial Guard set. That set is really hard to get because it's an essential part of their army, right? It's the Kassakan one. I mean, it's a very important one, so it's always out of stock. If you're a Night Lords player, this is the set you buy, right? This is the set you buy. You buy a lot of these because they're your standard army, your standard trooper. This set might be quite difficult to get a hold of after the initial first week. Yeah, I think I could be wrong.
No, I think you're probably right, Andy. The people are going to go nuts over this. That people are going to want this set. I fucking want it. I don't collect Night Lords, and I want it.
Yeah, a Night Lords armies veterans are going to have to get, or more than likely want to get at least, I don't know, 4-5 boxes just to rekit their army out generally.
Absolutely. You're going to want to make like squads of Chosen out of these guys, aren't you? That's what they're going to be.
Or just like standard troops,
like legionaries,
maybe.
They work beautifully as legionaries.
So I wonder how well stocked they're going to be. Like, obviously, like I don't think it's as like intensive as the Kassakans because every Imperial Guard player needs Kassakans because they're they're your better ones. So only like a certain a percentage of Chaos players will want these.
That's right.
But even so, I think this might be a difficult set to get potentially.
Well, thanks
so I think if you want it, get it.
Thanks to Aaron Dembski Bowden, it's bigger than it used to be.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah,
the demographic of Night Lords players is quite large these days. And I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to get larger because, Night Lords, their shtick, as in game, they've always been a bit naff because their shtick is that they affect morale. And of course, for so many editions, morale has meant nothing. Oh, they do -3 leadership, do they? Who gives a shit? Who cares, right? This edition, that really means something. Being able to affect battle shock and that's significant. I have a feeling these guys are going to be good when the Chaos Space Marine Codex comes out. Whatever detachment is redolent of them,
I wonder how it'll apply for what do you call it? Kill Team. How will the fear implement that? Griff, you played Kill Team.
I have.
Is there a morale system?
So there'll be ways to scare people to slow them down so they can't hold objectives or they can't make a turn, they can't do a move or they automatically miss or something like that would be my guess. I'm just having a look through to see if they actually mention anything, but they do not.
I think it's just showing off the models, right?
The faction ability in Midnight Clad obscures them from enemy fire while lurking around terrain, only to burst from concealment in a whirlwind of blood and blades.
That makes sense because they're also stealth fighters, they're stealthy and they're saboteurs. That's what they've always done, the Night Lords. They're kind of one of the things that characterizes them amongst the Space Marine Legions is they're not cowardly as such, but they will deliberately target weaker enemies because that's what they're like, because they're vicious and nasty.
It's also smart. Take out the small things and everything crumbles. Yeah.
So I think, if I'm reading this correctly, the upgrade kit is actually, you get more than you'd get for just to make these guys.
Yes, they said on the sprue that you can have one exclusive shoulder pad for every unit, I think,
Yeah.
apart
Wow.
from the specialists.
Yeah,
Oh,
If you
that's
spread them
pretty
out.
good. That's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I
See,
love the guy who's clearly a specialist of some description who's got the poison blade.
yeah.
That's very cool.
My favorite guy is the guy with the two claws on each hand, because he looks like he stepped out of a 90s Extreme Comics issue, and
Well, that's the Night Lords, isn't it?
Yeah,
They're so
absolutely.
nice. They're so like, they've got that Todd McFarlane thing going on, right?
Oh, very much. I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I first saw these, the first thought I had was, can I paint these up to look like Spawn?
Yeah. That'd actually be that'd be a decent color scheme for them, actually, wouldn't it?
Oh,
they'd
yeah.
look good.
There's plenty of stuff on the eyes to get the white to work. So yeah, I mean, I can see me wanting to grab these just to paint them up for maybe a little diorama or something.
Yeah, I mean, they are great minis. I mean, anyone who's into the chaos aesthetic, I think he's going to really enjoy these things.
Yeah, these are really cool.
A bit of a surprise as well. This sort of came out of nowhere, didn't it? There's not been any hints of this.
No,
not
at all.
Do you think they'll just release the sprues separately? The upgrade
That would be
sprue?
nice. Eventually, maybe.
Yeah,
nice.
down the line, possibly.
Yeah. I think it would be good for them to do it. If they do, this is obviously a way to get a little bit more money out of people, because they could just, they could just do the sprue on its own. But I get it, more money and whatnot.
Absolutely.
And then it hopefully opens up the stage for a few more upgrade sprues in the future, like how about? I'm not even going to say the obvious one, which is like Iron Warriors. How about something like the Red Corsairs have a special one for them? Because they never had anything special.
Please.
Absolutely, yeah. Word bearers, obviously,
Yeah.
Beautiful, yeah.
And if GW are worried about the amount that they'd need to supply, you could maybe do made to order.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That makes perfect sense to me, which is why it won't happen.
Yeah.
But no, I think these guys are going to be dead popular.
You know what's sad? This upgrade sprue is way better than the one that they gave to the Necrons. The Necron one's kind of shitty in comparison to this.
Yeah. Well,
this
is a total overhaul sprue, though, isn't it? That's the thing.
These look so distinct from the base miniature that they look like a different kit,
Oh yeah,
I'll be interested to see what the price is of this set versus the other ones. Because this is a big box,
here, isn't there?
Yeah, it's a big box in comparison.
But wow, I kind of want this one if I can afford it.
Shit! So you know the guy who's got the his mate Barry just hanging from a totem?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Right. So just reading this thing here. The ventrilocar icon bearer, who carries a sorcerer's totem built from the ruined corpse of a murdered space marine. His puppet's corrupted omophagia can mimic the voices of anyone whose flesh it consumes.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
So that thing is just going to be screaming in all the voices of all of your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very Night Lord's trick. That is. I like that.
Isn't that awesome? Yeah.
That's very Night Lords. I like it. I like it a lot.
I like the fact they put a hook on his hand. It's like the guy's dead, so they still chopped his hand off and stuck a hook in it just for shits and giggles.
Just something to do, isn't it?
You might be in an Iron Hands, to be fair, and they're just like, I'll give you a hook instead.
Oh no! I tell a lie. The hook's hanging behind him. They didn't even give him a hook for a hand. They just chopped his hand off for no reason.
Well, yeah. Any way they can disgrace their victims, they're gonna go for it.
You could definitely use that flesh cloak, George, for any of your Slanesh guys as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's another
piece,
thing,
which I
right?
assume.
Yeah, that's another thing, right? These guys can be used for lots of different things, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, it would not take much to turn these into the Biles' personal marine guard, would it?
Perfect. I mean, you could make from that, the one that Andy was talking about with the flesh apron. You could turn him into a surgeon, couldn't you? An apothecary, very easily, very easily.
Oh, I just meant the champion that has like the full coat.
Oh, the full
big cloak.
Yeah.
Because that's just a full cloak thing.
Yep, certainly is, and he's beautiful. He is. I think he's my favorite of all of them.
Now, just imagine him in like black with all the trims being white, and then you've got a big red cloak, and then you do white for the horn bits, the wing bits, and yeah, I'm
Mhm.
telling you now, Spawn. That's
Yeah.
what I would also do is buy some jeweler's chain and then have them all kind of floating slightly above
Oh.
the ground on the chains.
Go full 1990s with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. And if
Why
anybody
not?
asks me what I'm doing, I will just say to them, dead in the eye, and go, "Wonder, wonder, wonder." Or maybe occasionally shout, "No, this can't be. I'm a white man," just because Todd McFarlane really didn't have the language back in 1993. Anyhow,
Very successful, very successful, and one of the big surprises of this, this reveal.
Yeah.
I love the guy with the little hat, little hood with his skull face underneath.
Yeah, I like him a lot. He's my favorite.
I can just imagine, I'm gonna get you, Robo-T. Moving on. Next up, we've got some 40k. And as foretold, a legend returns. For we have Orican the Diviner.
Yay!
Oh, one of the
Oh,
power couple.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I sincerely hope they're going to do Trazin at some point because you've got to. If you've done Orican, you need to do Trazin.
As long as you can get an upgrade kit which allows them to hold hands.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
That would make me very happy if you could just magnetize them together.
Yeah.
And they can just be the the old bitchy couple.
You want a diorama base that you can put them both into, don't you? Together.
Yeah, the courtroom scene.
The courtroom
that'd
scene.
be
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
And just
But
have like
wow.
15 other Necrons as the judge. Some of them painted out in like really fleshed out, like really washed out colors, and then just have one of them in proper colors,
Yeah.
giving the idea that like time is just being manipulated. God, I love Orican and Trazin so much.
Yeah. And this is, I mean, he needed an upgrade. His miniature was looking very tired, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I think, when that was originally released, was it metal?
It was.
I think it was, wasn't it?
It
That
was.
one. He's one of the older Necron miniatures, so wow, cripes.
I like the fact he's carrying a beetroot round in his staff.
Yeah.
Oh, seriously though, he's great. He's really
fantastic.
cool.
Yeah. It's much closer to what Orican is in the background, isn't it? You know?
Yeah, the fact he's floating along, yeah, love it. I mean,
he does have a distinct, like, old man annoyed face as well, even for a robot.
He does look older, doesn't he? They've captured that sort of ancient get off my lawn feeling.
I think it's the really high cheekbones and the low brow, so he looks like he's almost scowling.
And of course, unlike Trazin, of course, he doesn't really have a sense of humor, Orican.
No.
So it does make sense for him to be the more miserable of the two.
I don't know why this has just reminded me, but have either of you two guys gone through the Cole Bile book yet?
Not yet, no. I desperately want to read it, though.
That is a surprising capstone to both the Bile and Cole series of books.
Oh, interesting.
Everything that has happened in those books is definitely influencing the stuff in that. It's not as good as I would have hoped.
Yeah.
To be fair, but I really enjoyed it. Just because we're talking, talking about like fantastic power couples in 40k.
Oh, I mean, the funny thing about Fabius is that he could be a power couple with himself. If you get my meaning, you know.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the most Slaneshi thing that I think you've ever heard.
Was it good? But no, they've done a great job. I mean, like they really do knock it out of the park with the Necrons, I think, of late. I mean, have you seen the new Imatech as well?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'm so glad they've given him a new miniature, so he can stand up to the Silent King, because he's the alternate power, isn't he, Imatech?
He is, yeah. He's he's the one that everyone flocked to when the Silent King buggered off.
Technically, I mean, he seems to still be, like, in modern times, the more influential of the two. Because there's still a lot of the dynasties, they turned away from the Silent King when he went, didn't they? They turned their back on him.
Yeah, I mean, in the law that's been presented, the problem is that unless the new Necron Codex changes that, the Silent King did a Kragnos. He made a massive, great big appearance and then nothing.
Yeah, did very little. It should have been a bit more significant, shouldn't it? Like the Return of the Silent King is a big deal.
Yeah, it really should have been. It should have been massive, and
Because he is literally like he presided over the Necrons when they fought the war in heaven, right?
yes,
So this guy has murdered gods. He's a significant character.
yeah, and that they dropped all these hints that he came back because he found something out on the outer rim, and it's just like do. I'm putting tenner down that he found Kragnos.
Oh god, just floating in space, dead. Yeah.
No, not dead, just angry. Just like holding his breath out of sheer rage and refuses to die. I'm so angry. I'm just metabolizing oxygen in my lungs. Yeah. Now what's interesting is the little bit of lore that says the portents of an upcoming catastrophe so dire that Orican declines an audience with the Silent King. Yeah.
I mean, he used to be Zarek's personal astrologer, didn't he? So
he did.
They've obviously fallen out a little bit.
Yeah, but it's probably like Orican. Well, where the hell have you been? Have you seen what happened to our race, you son of a bitch?
Yeah, it's a fair point. And also, Orican probably isn't interested anymore. He's set his sights on higher things now, hasn't he?
Yes. Well, God, yeah. I mean, Orican's entire ability to manipulate time and move through reality in the way that he does kind of makes the Silent King a bit useless in his eyes.
It kind of does. I mean, he's not interested in temporal power anymore, is he? He's not even interested in the Necron race anymore.
No, he's got other things that he wants to do,
he perceives
other
things
mysteries.
differently now, doesn't he? He just perceives things differently. He's operating on such a higher level than all the other Necrons.
Yeah.
Which is what makes him so fascinating.
I
vacillate. I never know which one I like better, him or Trazyn.
I think Trazyn tips the post for me. Purely because Trazyn is the reason that all the orcs vanished off Angelus.
Yeah, that is fun. That is really fun. Trazyn's the more fun of the two, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
There's no doubt.
It's the fact that, who won the in the entire, is it Gorka or is it Mork thing of Gorka Morka? Neither. They're still fighting it. It's just that they're fighting it in a tiny bottle in Trazyn's study. And that just makes me very happy. It's, yay, Gorka Morka still exists.
Somewhere. I mean, that's the great thing about Trazyn, right? He is like a repository for all the lost stuff in the lore of 40k. If it's been lost somewhere, it's on. Is it what world does he rule over? It's not Mandragora. That's Imatech. What is Trazyn's world called?
I can't remember.
The big museum world that he rules over. But it's there, right? All the lost stuff, all the stuff that's not in the lore anymore.
I do love the idea that Trazyn just owns basically his own Disney World, just kind of in museum terms.
It's a 40k theme park, isn't it?
Yeah, he just doesn't want anyone else to go to it because it's not finished yet.
That's right, because it's his, right?
Yeah, it's his. Yeah.
All
these fun roller coasters.
The world is Solemnance.
Solemnance, that's right.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah.
Is the cube that the model for Orican that he comes with, is that a time cube? Or is that just a random thing he's holding?
I don't know. I'd assume it's a specific thing. I'd assume it's like a Tesseract vault or something like that.
I think it's a disassembler, is he? He's got some kind of little artifact there, and he's just disassembling it through time, probably taking it back to when it was unlocked.
You think anybody's going to paint it up to be a Rubik's Cube?
I want someone to paint it up.
And the idea will be like he's cheating and he's pulling it apart so he can just go, I'm not going to fuck this, fuck the Rubik's Cube.
He's the ultimate cheater. I mean, he can actually go back and redo all of the moves that he's already done.
I thought you were going to say kill the person that made the Rubik's Cube. And
he can do that too. He can actually do that too, yeah.
This is stupid. I hate this. I'll kill you.
Can you imagine this is like guy working for Milton Bradley in like 1952 and all of a sudden that appears at your door?
Yeah. Wow.
Is this yours?
He just strangles him.
You bastard! Just pulls his head right off. Just starts messing with it and turn it into a square. How do you feel now, you bastard? Yes, anyhow.
No, he's lovely. I mean, he's an absolutely brilliant miniature. I love his cloak. I love that sort of cobra hood thing that his cloak is doing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a great glow up, like, isn't it?
Yeah,
and of course,
they do knock it out the park with the characters these days, generally speaking. The important ones in particular, and this is, it's very good. There's quite a few characters that do need that treatment in the Necron range. I mean, Trazyn, obviously, Vargard Oberon. They both of them need doing that 2 set. And there's another Necron character as well whose name I can never remember who needs to be redone.
There's one whose name I can't pronounce. I'm not going to try.
mentioned 2 of them, Oberon and or something like that, and Zendreke.
That's the one.
Zendrek. Yeah, those 2.
That's the one I wasn't going to pronounce.
They're brilliant. They're absolutely brilliant.
Ankh the Traveler as well, Big D mentions.
Yes. Yeah.
That's I only know of them as just like they're all resin at this point. I'm like, no, they'll be bent. They'll be horribly bent.
Yeah.
I do like how the Necron and Admech are coming out at the same time as each other and getting that real sense of
that. I very much like that. And there's also a narrative campaign to go with them, which is wonderful. Hopefully that moves the story on a little bit more, That'd be nice.
The Pariah Nexus. We've been to the Pariah Nexus before, haven't we?
We have. We have. It was in the Psychic Awakening.
That's
it also has the CGI show going on at the moment.
Yes, of course.
That's right.
Of course.
Yeah, that's
and that's a good match, isn't it? It's a good match. The Admech and the Necrons.
It seems to be the sisters.
Well, in the TV series.
Well, no, in the book as well. In the book, it's Admech, Salamanders, and Admech, at least from the advert, because it has all 3 armies.
Interesting.
Plus Necrons.
Yeah. Salamanders is a strange choice.
That's really
they get to do something, guys.
Yeah, that's nice. That's nice.
The heroes of Warhammer actually get to do something. The unabashed heroes of Warhammer.
Yeah.
The goodest boys.
They are the goodest boys.
As good as they can get.
If Salamanders took their helmets off and they were just dog people, I'd be like, that's okay. They're trying their best. They're just dogs with flamethrowers.
Hang on. So you want a Space Marine chapter that's dogs with flamethrowers that can get married and have families?
Yeah. I'm not saying they don't have to get married to people. They can get married to other dogs.
I was going to say space wolves.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well. Yeah. There are no wolves on Fenris.
No, this is just good boys.
Just good as boys.
I would love Graham McNeil forever forgiving us that insult for the space wolves.
Yeah.
There are no wolves on Fenris. I want that tattooed somewhere, quite frankly.
Just in the inside of your hands, you just put up against people's faces when they get on your nerves. There are no wolves on Fenris.
Oh, I saw a YouTube thumbnail that said, "Are space wolves good again?" And I was just like, I thought to myself, no, they never were. Never have been. Never will be. Don't lie to yourself. I didn't click the video because I was like, I didn't have time, but I was like, fucking space wolves. I got completely biased against them as soon as I listened to 1,000 Suns. I was like, fuck the space wolves forever and ever.
It will do
and
that.
Ever.
It will do that because they are wankers in that book.
I still think it's weird that in their own book, the one that Abner wrote, he just made it worse.
They're still bastards, right?
Yeah,
they're still the worst people imaginable.
Yep.
I'm going to put down my big old poll here and say, yeah, but in second ed, I loved Space Wolves.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time. You know what? They are better in the present day 40k.
Yeah.
They're better people in the present day 40k because they're not bound up in the sort of fascistic society of the Imperium as much. And they even kind of fight against it when it's being really fucking fascist.
Yeah.
Which is like, they often come up against the Inquisition, for example, who they hate. They absolutely hate them. Which is like, yeah, 40k needs that. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're still, superpowered ubermensch fascists, but of a lesser breed.
Unintended.
I should have had a lesser pedigree, shouldn't I?
Of a lesser dog. Right, keeping with 40k. Oh, sorry. I think the smoke from our next
Yeah,
choices got
yeah,
my lungs there.
it'll do that. It'll do that.
Bloody hell. So yeah, we've got Asmodee.
Asmodee, another
Asmodee, yeah,
yeah,
however you want to do
another
it.
real shocker, right? I had no idea this was coming.
Is this the dude
No.
from one of the White Dwarf covers from back
Yes.
early days?
Yeah.
I thought it was.
He
I thought it
is.
had to be.
This is
It's-
based on that piece of artwork. It
Yeah.
is literally that artwork just
It
brought to
is
life.
another piece of Gibbons' artwork
Yep.
that's been turned into a miniature.
Just
And
made
right
into
now,
a miniature.
I have decided I'm going to start buying all the ones based in his artwork and paint them in grayscale with the picture behind it.
Well, they're
You
know
so
what-
good, aren't they? It just works. Something about the way he does Space Marines in particular, translated into miniature form, it works.
Yeah.
And what's good about this one specifically, it's not a Warhammer exclusive.
No,
Nope.
A Warhammer Plus exclusive. Sorry,
No,
you
yeah.
can
it's,
actually buy it.
it's a general release, and
Yes.
it's a beaut, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I love the Dark Angels anyway. They are definitely my favorite Loyalist chapter. And just the aesthetics of them, that monkish monastic thing, love that to bits. And I think this probably emphasizes that more than almost anything else in the range.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, he is like 100. I mean, the best way to describe it is I can look at him and I can see Ave Maria from Hunchback of Notre Dame just playing in the background.
Yeah.
He is like, it's the bloody pauldrons on the outside of the not pauldrons, the hip armor on the outside of the robe that really just hits
That's
it.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
I don't, it's silly as all hell, but it's 40k,
God, yeah.
right? It's all silly. It's all
Yeah.
silly. If you can't embrace the silliness and you take it too seriously, you need to get out.
Mhm.
I love it. I think it's fantastic. It's overwrought. It's really elaborate. The smoke, which is optional. You don't have to have
yeah.
that, but I the smoke just makes it for me. I think it looks so interesting, and I love the way these characters that they're doing lately. They're enhancing and changing the profile of Space Marines and making them a bit more interesting, and dynamic. I love that.
Who's going to have this guy without the hood, though?
I
Would you
know,
not-
right? You
would
want
you-
that hood, right?
I would be so annoyed if I saw someone have this on a table and without the hood on. I'd be like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Throw
It's
this
a
on something
Dark
else,
Angel,
not
right?
this guy. Yeah.
It's a Dark Angel. If he's got a hood, give him the hood.
I mean, it's nice that the option's there, but I looked at the unhooded helmet and I was like, no.
No.
I mean, you want to keep the unhooded helmet for the Night Lords thing that you just bought earlier.
Actually, yeah. Yeah. But no, he's
And,
beautiful. He's absolutely beautiful. He's the he's the big interrogator chaplain
Mhm.
of the Dark Angels. And the interrogator chaplains are bad news. They're very, very bad indeed. They're like experts in the most
They asked
refined
very, very
torture.
nicely for their information and say, pretty please. Come on.
No.
Come on.
No.
Come on.
No, they don't. They're bad.
Oh,
They're
come on.
very, very, very bad people indeed. And Asmodee's like the worst of them, to the point whereby he's caused schisms within the chapter. When you read the last Dark Angels Codex, he's so extreme that like there are splinter chapters that have formed from the Dark Angels because they don't like him and the way he operates.
Is he one of these people that says Black Adder Season 1's the best version of the character?
Yeah, he's that guy. He's definitely that guy. Yeah.
That would cause schisms.
Yeah. And this is the Dark Angels, right? They're all pretty bad.
Yeah. I'm really liking what they're doing with the Dark Angels since
Me too. I mean, they are one of the most aesthetically distinct of the Space Marine chapters, and they're really going for it with them. And I love that. I love that so much. Of all the Loyalist chapters, I could really happily collect a Dark Angels army because I think they're gorgeous. I love their background. I love their ambiguity. I love that whole monastic thing, and also the secrets of them. The fact that they have so many unspoken secrets. Love it to bits.
Who's he stabbing in the head? Who's the helmet? Is that an Iron Hand?
It's a fallen.
Oh, that makes more sense.
It's a fallen
that makes
angel.
more sense.
That's Bazza, and he is his last words were, "I wasn't even meant to be in today."
My only thing, it's nothing to do with the miniature. Nothing to do with the miniature at all. The miniature is fantastic, but it should have been primarily black.
Yeah.
Something about this miniature, it's so heavy. It should have like the green on the top doesn't really do it for me. I know it's very Dark Angels, but I think this guy should have been in the original Dark Angels colors.
Mm-hmm. I think the
What was it?
problem
Is
there,
it
you
just
might
he's too
lose a lot.
bright? Do
Say
you think
again?
you could? Is it just too bright? Because wasn't the original
Yeah.
artwork the colored version for
Yes,
the?
it's all
It was.
black. The original
Was
was
all black?
all black, yeah.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
then if that's the case, then yeah, change it.
And it should have been this should have been as well. I think it would have been so striking, but, I understand why they've done it. It's 'cause, he needs to fit in with the rest of the miniatures range that they've done for the heavy metal,
But he is a
obviously.
chaplain, I suppose, isn't
Yeah,
he?
it's
You
a
could
chaplain, so you
argue.
go all black. Yeah, do
Yeah.
him all black. Why not?
Well, Gruff mentioned the grayscale, which I think would work as well.
Oh, he would
I
look
was just
so good in that, wouldn't he? He would
and
look
it's easy to paint.
so
Yeah.
good in that.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a little project for next year, picking up all the miniatures that were based on Mark Gibbons' artwork, and then just doing them in grayscale with the picture behind them.
You already have the Terminator, don't you, Gruff?
Yeah, I've got the Terminator. Yeah,
You'll just need to strip him down and then
Mhm.
prime him again, which shouldn't be too hard.
I'm scared to touch him ever again because he took so long to paint.
Well, if you want to
may be
grayscale
wrong.
him,
I may be wrong, but chat, didn't Asmodee have a miniature not that long ago as well? Didn't he have like a Primaris miniature when he crossed the
I don't
Rubicon? No?
think so.
No? No, it may have been
Um,
another character then.
Yeah. Oh, hang on.
oh. Big D says a fine cast version pre-Primaris.
Ah, right, I thought so. I remember him having, like, one since, like, Second Ed when the original miniature came out, the
Yeah.
metal one.
Yes, a total of 2, apparently, says Monk.
Yeah, interesting. So that's really interesting because there are still characters that still, from that era that haven't had updates at all. So he's had a few. But no, it's gorgeous. I mean, I think this, even above like the other higher ranking Dark Angels, like Azrael, he emphasizes exactly what the range is about. If you look at him, that's what the Dark Angels are. That's what they are.
They're one of the coolest Space Marine looking armies, I think.
Of course they are. Of course they are. They're just wonderful. Love them.
Shall we
And
talk about
he's-
some of the other new
Yeah,
units? Because they got more than just this guy.
Oh god, yeah. I mean,
Yes.
we could, but yeah, let's go. Should we stick with the Dark Angels?
Yeah, let's go into the
Yeah.
Deathwing Knights because
Deathwing
holy
Knights.
motherfucking Christ!
Yeah, I know, right? You know how they said from the very beginning that this edition is going to be the edition of the Terminator. They're
Yeah.
not kidding, are they? It looks like
No.
they are really going for this. And I mean, obviously, Dark Angels, they've got the Deathwing, an entire Terminator army. These guys, woof.
These are my favorite Terminators I've ever seen, and I do not say that lightly. I adore them.
They are
And
really good.
I really liked them, until I noticed something which made me so happy that I honestly, my family looked at me because they didn't understand the joy that I felt. Abby obviously doesn't really get Warhammer at all. She's not interested, and Joseph is 3, so he just got excited by big robot guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of these miniatures have little feathers on them.
Yeah, of course they do.
I thought it was the feathers you'd like.
It's standard, the Deathwing models, they've always had that little reference, haven't they, to the original story? They've always had that, just as the tiniest little reference to their origins, and that's brilliant. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Happy. I'm so happy.
I love they've retained it because it's not even the lore for these guys anymore, right?
No.
I love that they've retained it. I think that's really sweet.
And it means that with my blue stuff, I can take feather prints, and then I can just green stuff feathers really, really easily. And I'm going to have lots of feathers on my Terminators, and I'm going to have a full Terminator army, and it's going to be Broken Wing and his feathers. Well,
are you getting these guys, Adam?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
there's no two ways around it. I really want to do a what I've been calling the Broken Wing Terminator Legion. Where it's just these guys using the old Cloud Runner storyline as their base to go. And I mean, this is exactly how to do it. This is exactly how to do it.
It is all very exciting. I mean, like what all this suggests as well for the Dark Angels Codex, which is upcoming. Obviously, you're going to have things like your Deathwing and Ravenwing detachment. So you're going to be able to make from the Dark Angels both a bike army and a Terminator army, which is wonderful.
But not a Terminator on bike army.
No, no. Fortunately not.
Brother, we have an issue. What is the issue, brother? Our enemy is at a right angle, and we are too heavy to turn corners.
But wow, I mean, they are some of the best Termi miniatures. They're just wonderful. They've done such a good job with these guys.
And he also comes with a small dude with a smelly stick as well.
Yeah,
a little watcher.
Another one.
Watcher in the dark. Yes.
The fact that we now have this inkling of what the Watchers in the Dark are makes me so happy.
Yes.
They are.
They make the Dark Angels even more bloody sinister, don't they? Quite frankly.
Yeah.
Are they cats?
No.
No,
they are not.
Okay. Because don't cat people exist in Warhammer, or have they been erased?
Somewhere.
Because they did at one point.
Yeah, there are actual cat people in Warhammer. Yeah, it's
wow.
If there was ever a singular reason for me to leave the Imperium of Man Facebook group, it's the fucking cat pictures. Cat man.
He's an interesting thing to think about. They basically got rid of ratlings and squat, but cat people are still technically in the law.
Cat people are still technically around.
Yeah.
Well, it's a big universe, isn't it? There's got to be like feline characters somewhere in some corner.
I thought you were actually going to name the horrible name that they've got there, George.
What their specific name? What is it?
Felinids.
Felinids, not like Felidae or anything like that. Felinids is awful.
I think you could change the name because it just feels
as opposed to
on the tongue.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, it's as opposed to hominids, right? But it's bad. It doesn't work.
No.
See, this is where Gruff joins the Inquisition and burns the mutant.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't like big titty Tau. It's something that annoys me. But fair enough. You do you. But cat people, that is where I started getting exterminous.
Look, do you not think big titty Tau is the best kind of propaganda thing that the Tau army could use to get people to come to them?
To get human beings, probably, yeah.
And then when humans get there and there are no big titty Tau, they're just like, well, fuck, we're here now. Shit.
Yeah.
Can't do anything about it. I've been sterilized now. I can't do anything.
Yeah, it doesn't make any difference now.
No, how?
I think it's probably why I don't mind big titty towels too much, because I can see in universe how that works, but just actual cat people, it drives me insane. It's like, but have you guys ever read the Long Earth series?
No.
Right, don't. It's, to put it simply, it was an idea by Terry Pratchett, and Stephen Baxter ran with it, and I've never got on with Stephen Baxter's style of writing. He's very good at bringing the ideas, but he's not a very good storyteller, in my view. That's my idea, my opinion on it. Book 3 has actual dog people in it, and it drives me fucking insane, because it's not they have a slight dog-like pack mentality. They're just dog people walking around sniffing each other.
Did they look like the dude from Bucky O'Hare?
Yeah, kind of like just big beagly type people.
They are just like anthropomorphic dogs, right?
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah,
right. Okay, interesting.
There hasn't been the evolution to turn them into something else. It's just dog people.
But that means the Slan exists as well, then.
I mean,
which they used to.
If they brought the Slan back in 40k and had Napoleonic dressed frogs shooting steampunk biolasers, I would be over the moon.
That would be great. Bring back the fun.
On a long enough timeline, it's got to happen. They are.
But they'd make them. They'd make them more serious.
Of course they would.
They wouldn't have the fun Napoleon frogs.
No, they wouldn't have that. But the Slan will be back, or something akin to them, or derived from them. I think it will happen on a long enough timeline.
The problem I've always had with the Slan in 40k is that it's easy to get sort of your head muddled between Slan and Slanesh.
Yeah.
The two words are so similar that you'd automatically think there's a connection.
Yeah,
Which,
yeah.
there isn't. So they'd have to reboot them from ground up.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, you just, well, why bother? Why, if you're going to do frog people, just don't. If they turned...
Just don't.
Just don't. If they did some kind of like weird amphibious kill team, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But then I also really want to see the dog soldiers, the Tarkin dog soldiers, turn up in Kill Team, because they're not actual dogs. All right.
Yeah.
They're more akin to crocodiles. The entirety of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles turns up in 40K, no matter how you look at it. But yeah, Terminators are great.
Yeah.
They are. They're very beautiful, very beautiful miniatures, and they seem to be really going for Terminators in this edition. There's going to be so many.
I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. And I think the cool thing is that they've done a redesign on the Terminator masks without losing the silhouette.
I know what you mean. It's subtle, isn't it? What they've done with the Terminators in this edition. It's very subtle. It's like proportional tweaks.
Yeah, and these guys have got like that big metal thing at the front of the Terminator mask, and it just works. It works really well for me.
It does. It's a great look. It's a great look.
Although I do want to put like sound chips in them so they just shout out Peter Cullen lines from the Transformers live action movies. There's just one of them that looks like he would just be shouting, "Give me your face!" And it would fit better here than it did in the film.
I think you should go with more the Dawn of War memes of Captain Diomedes. The memes from Dawn of War 2 and Captain Diomedes are, if you know them. There are lots of them.
Although
the voice actor,
the one with the sword pointing down the ground, he would have to have Tim Curry's spice sound. I'm going to the one place where your heretics cannot follow. Spice.
Although in 40K they can and will.
Yes, they can. And he was an idiot. Why would he say that? Stupid brother Tim Curry. I feel bad for saying that now. I love Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we've got some Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
And we've got Bird Marines, and they're going to fly with big jetpacks. And these jetpacks are cool. And they've got, like, the Womble Marine armor, and that makes me happy.
That the official term, the Womble Marine armor.
Yeah, Womble Marines, yeah.
Yeah.
Orinoco Marines.
Absolutely. Making good use of the things that they find, like torsos and rib cages, giblets and spines.
No, they're not the Night Lords.
I was going to say, these are the Sons
true.
of Horus, although at this point, they're so like deep into chaos and whatnot that probably, yeah.
I just had this image in my head of one day, Brother Orinoco got out of his stasis chamber. He saw a heretic. "Oh shit," said the heretic, as Brother Orinoco blasted the filthy, filthy bastard into tiny, tiny bits of gibbet. Anyhow, I kind of want to remake Wombles now with murderous space marines. Anyhow, so yeah, we've got a tactical squad, and the tactical squad has jump packs, it has chainswords, little shields, and Womble helmets, and this makes me very happy. I like the fact that those helmets are back because I've got a real soft spot for them. There's just something about them that make me feel like a 12-year-old again that just goes.
They're very
so
cute. Cool. What I see when I look at this set is how you can really like go to town on them. There's so many big flat spaces on them.
Yeah.
You could chaos these guys up to the nth degree. It'd be so much fun.
One of the things I really like about the design of this is the way that the jump packs are attached, and it gives you that nice big flat chest at the front.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it's just a really nice bit of armor, and I quite like that.
I mean, I may be wrong about this, but they look like they've taken some design imperatives from one of the older Raptor sets.
Yeah.
The jump pack is very redolent of that Raptor set that came out for the 3.5 codex.
Yep. No,
Way
absolutely. Yeah, it's a lot more technological and not as ornate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it works rather than it looks like it works despite all the frippery that they've shoved on it.
It looks practical, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It looks sort of down and dirty, which is kind of cool.
What does Andy feel about the Womble Marines?
They're fine.
Yeah. That's pretty much my take as well. They're fine. They're okay. I mean, I don't have the interest in the legions at this point. You know, I like them when they are corrupted and when they've gone through the ringer a little bit. But they're good. I
think it's because these are just very plain. They're made to be plain, so you can add to them. And I think the problem with them is they're too plain.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that these are just like your basic ones. These are definitely not Thousand Suns or anything like that.
They're generic, aren't they? You can use them for any legion, you know.
Yeah, and they, that's a bit boring to me. But they're not bad. They're just like
No,
I would have preferred maybe a few more crazy poses. None of them are in like boosting off the ground. I'd like one of them to be rocketing up into the sky kind of position, but maybe that's a bit too extreme for what they're trying to do. I don't know. Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah, it looks like a fairly diverse kit. You know, it looks like you can do lots of different things with it.
Yeah.
It looks like it has a kind of old-fashioned feel to it. It looks like the RT OB1, you know, from Rogue Trader. It's got that feeling about it.
Yeah, I think that's why I quite like it. It reminds me of that, and that's quite nice. Yeah,
you know, as I say, aesthetically, it's not what I'm looking for from Space Marines, but as they go, I think they're going to be very popular kits, and I can see people converting these guys to the nth degree.
Yeah, absolutely. And she leads me on to a really interesting question I was thinking about the other day. If Horus Heresy had never had the 32/28 scale game, and it had just stayed as in like epic scale all these years, would you guys have been more or less interested in it as a game?
I'm not that interested in it anyway. You know, it's just not. It's not the game or the scale as such. It's the setting.
Yeah,
I'm more interested in that as a fictional setting. That's where it's interesting for me. So it probably would have been about the same, to be honest, which is fairly disinterested.
Yeah. No.
Is there a big plastic kit or Gargant?
No, there isn't.
What about the bio thing?
No, none of that. Just all Epic since 1997 or whenever.
But Epic had the bio Titan thing.
Yeah.
So you're saying it got worse?
Well,
because you got one army. Yeah, I mean, like realistically, I wouldn't be too fussed because again, like I think it's good that you can have the Siege of Terror kind of thing. But I miss the diversity of, I want to play as Orcs or I want to play as these. It's just, do you want to play as Loyal or do you want to play as Chaos and that's it?
Yeah.
I don't know how to talk to you guys about it, but do you guys know how close, like how much of a failure 40k Epic actually was?
No.
It was massive, like a massive failure. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because it was so expensive to do, to get all those armies out in like the epic scale, to have those like big things as well. Even though the miniatures are smaller, it didn't last. They couldn't keep people buying it for very long at all. It ended up being a huge failure. I've been looking into the sort of what happened at the end of the 90s when Games Workshop kind of consolidated everything. When you got into the 2000s and started
when you literally just had like 40k, Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and one or two other things, and that was it.
Yeah, and it's because Epic failed. They couldn't keep it on the shelves, and Gorka Morka absolutely ruined them.
That is such a shame. I mean, like you wouldn't have thought so, would you? You wouldn't have thought so with Gorka Morka, but
Gorka Morka was only on the shelf for about a year.
That is so weird. I mean, obviously we were young, we were kids, so obviously it felt much longer.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yeah, there was only like 6 months of stuff in White Dwarf supporting it. It's
because it felt mental. It felt like an age, didn't it? Like every issue there was Gorka Morka stuff.
Yeah,
I guess if you don't like Orcs. That's
it, isn't it? That's the limitation, right? That it is one race effectively.
You can do it with Space Marines because they're the poster boys. So everybody kind of gravitates towards them for better or for worse.
Got Space Marines that they like, haven't they? Almost everyone's got something that they're going to gravitate towards, but not necessarily so with the Orcs,
And you've got the Horus Heros book series going along to also help kind of prop it up as well. So it's multiple avenues with Gorka Morka. It's just, do you like Orcs? No.
Well, here's some muties.
I suppose, like
Yeah.
the ultimate end for this series, the Horus Heresy, the thing they're going to have to do is the Emperor, right? He is physically in it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, he's physically in that setting.
I don't see it happening.
You know,
A model would sell, though. Definitely.
wouldn't
A
it?
lot of
Wouldn't
people
it?
would
'Cause
love
it'd be
to
the
have one.
It'd be the first one of the Emperor, right? I mean, if they're going to do all the Primarchs, and if they're going to do, they've done Horus Ascended.
Yeah.
You know, and Horus Ascended is effectively equivalent to the Emperor.
But the Emperor himself doesn't get onto any battlefields as such, does he?
He has a tussle with his ship.
Yeah, he does at the end. You know, he does. He fights. So.
And if you have him, then you could do like an Ullanor kind of
Yeah,
campaign.
you could do other settings, right? I mean, it would be such a capstone. I mean, that would sell the Horus Heresy if they did an Emperor miniature. It'd be the first one.
Yeah, I can see it. I mean, would you want him like striding, or do you want him just in the Golden Throne floating around?
Yeah, I want him in the chair. I want him Charles Xavier.
Now, I kind of want him in the Golden Throne, if I'm perfectly honest. You know, so you can't actually do anything with the miniature because he's stuck in it. Then, isn't he? There's nothing you can do.
Wait, you could have him basically like a Slan priest, so he's just kind of wheeled around shooting magic.
I am actually amazed
Have you
that
seen
they haven't
the size
done.
of the Golden Throne? It's not just the seat, you know.
No.
It's
well, you've seen
massive. It's like a mountain. It's huge.
They can make like a scaled down version, and it could be like if they wanted to go cheap, they could like base it off of the Silent King's model.
Yeah,
just make his thing. Yeah, and instead of having the
Throne.
2 pylons, you have 2 like oxygen carts.
It'd have to be bloody big.
Yeah.
Did you guys see John Blanche talking about the bit of art he did for the Emperor on the Golden Throne?
No.
It was really interesting because what he was saying was that he didn't see that as the Emperor. That's a facade. The Emperor's like out of view. He's like, you know, way deep in the machine.
Oh, so he's actually inside the machine, yeah?
Yeah. That thing you see, what you classify as the Golden Throne, that's just what they show the tourists, so to speak.
Oh, right. That's a nice idea.
So who's on the throne?
Just some guy, you know. It's like
I want to know his story.
Some guy.
It's Gary the janitor. Gary got on the throne.
Oh god, this is like classic Catholic Church relic stuff, isn't it? Oh, here's the shin bone of Saint whoever, and it's just a bone. You know, it could be from a cow or whatever.
Oh yes, the thigh bone of Saint Cow, my favourite saint. Moving on then. So we've got a little bit of Necromunda. Everybody was happy about this.
Yeah,
everybody, because it's the what do you call it? The drop troops. It's the vehicle of the drop troops. So this. I'm in two minds about this. It's a really cool looking vehicle, but once again, the Palatine Enforcers don't have to look like knockoff Space Marines.
Palatine Enforcers.
Yeah,
that's a weird name.
It is, isn't it? You know, I kind of miss when the space cops. What the hell they're called? Abites. Thank you. Couldn't remember that at all there. I kind of miss when they were like Dread knockoffs because they just looked so cool.
Well, we still have them, don't we? Because there's the kill team of them. But I know what you mean.
Yeah.
More of them. Yeah. See, okay, I'll sell you on this vehicle, Gruff, in two ways. One,
Gorkamorka.
One. Second one, you could do them with your Votans.
Yeah, you could. Or the Gene Stealer cults, actually. These guys would look good in the Gene Stealer cults.
That would work as well, yeah. They'd actually, I think Gene Stealer cults would probably be maybe the best because it looks more like their tech.
And, you know, orcs, obviously, loot it, you know.
Yeah.
Stick some smelly panels on it, paint it red.
Exactly. Yeah, stick some orcs on the top, you're done.
So good to see this in orc armies.
Absolutely. Yeah, you are.
It actually looks more like the war truck than we've had in years, right?
Oh god, yeah. I mean that's back in the day when orc stuff was like human but messy. That very much looks like it could be something that would be done by the orcs.
Otherwise, it's just like it's fine. I don't like the look of the people driving it. Like you say, I think the helmet design is way too Space Marine.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it looks like
It's
a
a bit
Primaris
too
helmet.
close, isn't it? It's a bit
Yeah.
too close to the Space Marines,
Yeah,
definitely.
I can see what they're trying to do. It's that design aesthetic that's going across, but
Should you keep that out of like the standard human forces? Again, if you did them like the RBTs, whatever you want to call them, it would be different.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no, absolutely.
They
And
look
it's,
distinct.
I think it's because the Palatine forces are meant to be like the best of the best human, like super space cops. So
Right.
Oh, okay, space cops. I was gonna say because on this, what they call the solar seamen,
Exalt.
yeah, whatever they call, exiles. Aren't they the
Solar
best?
seamen.
I don't know what they're called.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're called. All I know is it's the solar something. I don't know. They travel through the sea of space. I don't know. Who would have thought seamen would get him? Poor Griff.
Fuck off, Andy.
on the solar dudes meant to be around. They're still around now. They weren't just for Horus Heresy, right?
No, they should still be around now.
Okay.
Wow,
Why not
yeah.
use them?
No,
They'd be better.
no,
They look cooler.
Mhm.
I totally
I got 'em.
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what got me about that, but something tickles me like quite rotten. Yeah. So yeah, these guys are the Palatine Rangers, so not the Palatine Enforcers. So the same idea. And I think the Palatine stuff, I think, is something that really needs to get explored a bit because they are turning up a lot in Necromunda, and it's I don't think there's a huge amount of history about them. The chat's probably saying, "Stop it, Adam! Shut up! You're wrong." But I can't check because my phone's run out of battery. But yeah, I really like this thing. I think it's really cool. But now you've mentioned like the Gene Stealer cults, I think that's something
Oh
that
yeah, I mean it's perfect
works
for the Gene
perfectly.
Stealer
Yeah.
cult's army. I mean, you don't even need to do a great deal to it, quite frankly.
Well, I
it's
think there's one thing you need to do to it, and that is buy 2 of them,
Mhm.
and then you extend the back out further, and you just have the limousine that the Gene Stealer cult have always
Oh.
needed.
You could do that, couldn't you?
Oh,
Yes.
that'd be fun. Yeah.
That would be fun. Yeah, I like
So
that.
many wheels, so many wheels.
It does almost have the same like front shape to it, doesn't it? Sort
The
of.
Yeah,
profile
yeah.
is similar, isn't it? The profile is definitely similar.
Oh, that'd
Yeah,
be
so-
fun.
Because I thought about doing that with the is it the Taurox?
Mhm.
Getting hold of that and just extending the back out and having that as the limousine. It's like, yes, this is my so fancy limousine that I go to the ball in. But I think this works a lot better. But yeah, I'm a fan. The Necromunda, for something that I thought was dead and finished, is
It keeps
firing
going
on all
somehow.
cylinders.
Still, doesn't it? It does seem to be like going quite well at the moment.
Yeah. Oh, I've started reading through the Succession books.
Mhm.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Like really, really good. So the last is it the Jadian Succession, I think they're called. A load of like cultists have attacked Hive Secundus and taken it over. And down in the depths of Hive Secundus, there's a stasis with a really ancient like cyborg guy in it. And they've let him out, and he's now declaring open war on Necromunda.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like, well, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah, so there's actual history happening. You know,
Yeah.
The
The story.
changing on Necromunda. That's nice. I like that.
Well, Lord Helmar's dead.
Oh,
Lord Helmar was assassinated, and it's his daughter that's now in charge.
oh, that's nice. So it has actually changed then. The setting
Yeah.
has changed. That's cool. I like
Since,
that.
since 2016, Necromunda's moved forward about 100 years. It's
Oh, I like
damn.
that a lot. That's really cool.
It's honestly, I love modern Necromunda. I absolutely love it. It's, I honestly thought that Necromunda was going to be finishing up the way that things were going. It looked like it was going to end. No, they were just clearing the decks to get this
Get
stuff
new
out.
stuff out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Cool. Very, very cool indeed.
So that is rather cool. Right, moving on then. Should we have some old world?
Yeah, a few more hints and things of what's to come.
Still not a full reveal, which I
No.
thought we were going to get finally.
Yeah, not a full reveal, but whoa, right?
Big.
Big
Ooh.
freaking dragon. That's
Big, isn't he? And
well,
a suggestion of what the new aesthetic of the Tomb Kings is going to be, which is really, really nice.
yeah.
I saw some people complaining or being sad that the skeleton warriors were the old ones. I was actually happier, to be honest, because they're not those skeletons ain't gonna snap. They may be old, but they're not gonna break.
They're quite durable, aren't they? So.
Yes, the new ones are not.
Did you guys notice? You know the little miniature of the Lich King on foot holding the flail up? That's derived from an old mummy miniature from Warhammer Armies Undead. There is a mummy from that range that was led back then that has the same flail, is in the same pose. It's just a lovely reference to days gone by.
Yeah, I picked up on him. He made me very happy because it was. I mean, that's like 3rd into 4th edition is when he was doing the rounds.
It was when the original battle tome Warhammer Armies Undead came out, before they were diversified, when everything was all together.
Yep. Yeah, when an undead army was just the undead.
It was an undead army, and it had vampires and Tomb Kings and all sorts of wackiness in it. When you could play as Cetra, you know, he was actually a special character back then.
Yeah, you had oh god, I miss the days when you had ghost skeletons and mummies, and then just
all
like
together.
Heinrich Kemmler just leading them all, going, well, where the hell did you pick up all these guys from? Come on, eh?
Yeah, Dieter Hell snitched on his cute little manticore.
I'm a necromancer. What you riding? Manticore.
Manticore, obviously.
Yeah, okay. I like the little cat. The little cat's great.
Yeah. No, it's got no hair. Cats without hair on good cats. They're weird cats.
Yeah, to be fair, it's also like a mummy as well. It's got like it's got like bits of bone showing through and whatnot.
So it's not just like stroking a ball sack like it usually is with a
this is like
skin
cat.
cat.
It's like a sack of bones, you know.
Yeah. And it'll be an asshole as well because it looks like a mean cat. It doesn't look like a nice happy cat. Yeah, well, yeah, it's true.
It's a cat, yeah, no, of course it is.
Do you get extra attacks for the cat? Do you think in the rules does the cat also attack?
I would love it if the cat actually did something.
No, yeah, that'd be fun.
Wouldn't that be so cool?
Like an extra hit roll or something really small. Nothing
magical, maybe. You know, maybe it just gives you a little bonus to your casts or something.
Like he's probably not going to bust through Chaos Armor, 2nd edition Chaos Armor, or anything like that. But maybe he could maul to death a human, like an Imperial Guard with his pantaloons.
You know, to be fair, the edition they're going for, which I think is 6th edition, isn't it, Adam? Isn't that the basis for this one? Nothing. It looked Chaos Armor. Like, I mean, you know, you could fire cannons at Chaos Warriors and they'd come out unscathed. It was ridiculous.
It was a good time. It was a good time.
Ridiculous. It was good, yeah.
I say 6. It looks like they're doing like a best of, taking all the best rules and mixing them all together to make a very
different editions and chucking them together. Yeah.
This Bone Dragon. The problem with it on the white background is you don't actually get
you can't see a great deal of it. No, they've made a mistake putting it against the white background.
Big time. But it also means you can't quite get the scale of it. Now,
I think it's big, isn't it? It's big, this miniature.
It's very, very big. You know, it's Forge World Dreadsaurian big. It's big. So that's really cool. That makes me very happy. The old world baffles me. I know I've said this multiple times. I'm just baffled by it.
Yeah. If only we could get like a proper release, because it can't be too far off from being released at this point.
Getting there, hasn't it? I mean, there's so many suggestions, and they're showing you the new miniatures now, the new stuff. So surely it's got to be soon.
I did see a cool thing where someone photoshopped the saddle off of the dragon, put it on, Alariel's beetle.
That would be fun, wouldn't it?
It worked quite well, and it was obviously thematic as well with the Tomb Kings, because you have the big scorpion things.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. That'd be grand.
And I like the fact that with this as well, you don't need just a leader. You can also have the priest as well, and he's summoning his little sand bird to go and poop on people, which is kind of fun.
Which is fun, yeah.
I'm not sure how well the sand effect comes across in the model, or at least the paint job. It kind of looks like the bird's dripping clay a little bit, I think.
Yeah, I
more
think
so
it's
than anything.
it needs to be less dark. It needs to be lighter, much lighter. I was going to say actually, due to somebody messing up on, I think it was on Twitter. We know that this is released in February.
So why have we not got a preview? It's bloody November. Well, it's nearly December. There should
we're
definitely be a
close,
preview up by
aren't we?
now.
We're
Yeah.
close. Wow.
Yeah,
They're
Now,
not
you
going to
might-
do a preview on like Christmas Day, are they? Be something weird like that.
That would be my guess. My
You
guess
think
would
so?
be
That would be
'cause
interesting.
last few years they've kind of released a video on Christmas Day, haven't they?
Yes.
Now,
They have.
last year it was more of a silly one with James Workshop. Unlike the James Workshop one, where we trying to say, "No, please use our site; it works."
I did actually try and use their site a few days ago, and I was like, "This is awful. What happened?"
It's bad. It is bad. Yeah.
Oh God.
And I know people are saying that the site didn't work well on mobile anyway. I can say I've never had an issue with it on mobile. I do all of my ordering from Games Workshop via my phone. The current one, I just it makes my brain ache.
What's the format? The format's terrible.
I haven't
Yeah.
used it yet, but I'm going to tomorrow because I'm going to be pre-ordering the AdMech and Necron codices. So
It's surprisingly unintuitive,
Yeah.
and that's the problem.
The fact they have to put an FAQ to tell you how to use it is
Website
yeah.
in 2023.
Yeah. It's bad.
This isn't
It
the
is.
90s where he goes, "What's a website, dear?" I don't know. It's a new thing. We've never heard of it.
It's like,
Yeah.
woof.
It is. It's not something I often say or draw attention to, but I hope some fucker got fired for that one. Like, ooh, it's bad. It's bad. Right. So
Shall we go on to the big one?
AOS. Right. So the chivalrous armies of Usheran.
This was the one, wasn't it? I mean, wow.
Yeah. I think what we'll do is we'll start small and build up because first
I
of all,
want to eat some krill because I was wrong. I thought what we were seeing months ago was new crypt with new ghouls. They are not crypt ghouls.
No. But we have new ghouls.
Oh
And
my god.
My favorite one is the one holding the banner with the thumbs up.
What are these? Crypt guard, aren't they?
Crypt guard,
Yeah.
yeah.
A little bit too close naming wise to grave guard for my taste.
Mm-hmm. No, I can see where you're coming from there.
Mhm.
I'm a little disappointed that they don't have more of the. There's little elements of what they think they are in there, which is quite cool. But I was kind of hoping for a bit more of the wearing like the armor, but also only on one side and stuff like that.
Maybe some like ruffs or something, just to make them look like they're trying or pretending to be civilized. Right?
Well, this was the thing I was thinking about as soon as I saw them and wanted to say for the show. What is the distinct factor visually to make these different from normal ghouls? And it's like they hold a sword. That's it.
Yeah.
They've actually got a weapon. They're smart enough to wield a weapon.
And I don't think that's visually enough to really make them distinct. I think, like you say, giving them a bit more clothing or something
scraps
would
of
really
something.
help.
Like they've scavenged scraps of armor and bits and pieces of clothing together. Something like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're good.
Yes, they're very well sculpted.
They're good, and it's so nice to see, isn't it? Oh my god, it's so lovely to see the Flesh Eater Court's getting AOS'd a little bit.
Yes, finally.
Yeah. This feels. They've never been this sincere in AOS.
No.
The range has never been this sincere, and it feels significant somehow, doesn't it? It really feels like it's meaningful.
Yeah, because it feels like they're moving things forward. They're getting things into place, going back and filling in the gaps rather than trying to fill everything with new stuff. I mean, what Andy's saying there is absolutely right, but I think once you get into the two-handed weapon guys, they do have a much more distinct look. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, having the little helmet on, stuff like that, it goes a long way to fixing the issue. Having the little armor on the knee and the vambrace on the leg, it all works really well. However, underneath them,
oh wow, these guys!
Oh man, these guys are great.
These are just incredible.
They are fantastic, aren't they?
The
I mean,
Morbeg Knights.
Jesus, there's something actually intimidating about the silhouettes. They look quite scary,
Mhm.
which I love. I think
What's
it's a hard thing to do with
what
miniatures.
they've done, and this is real smart, is they've taken the bat creature and they have pushed it as far towards cartoony as they can, but not gone over the line. So what you've actually got is like very exaggerated features on the bats, but it's pulled back enough to be very macabre, and it's a beautiful design aesthetic, and the ghouls riding on top just look like they're having the time of their lives.
You mentioned that the bat faces are very cartoony, and it made me think that they seem a bit like Man Bat, from the 90s Batman when he's transforming, kind of a bit like that.
Yeah, I can see that.
But way more detail, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that first transformation he does, that's full bloody Zoanoid from Guyver.
Oh, yeah, it's freaky,
you know.
but this is like they've got wrinkles and creases in their ear and all that jazz and whatnot. What I like about these is there's no like, oh, can these fly? No, their wings are tattered. They ain't flying.
Yeah, they ain't flying. No.
They're so good.
They are
really
beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful.
Is the hornblower using somebody's face that's been like pulled, like stretched?
Yes.
Over a trumpet,
That's how I'm reading it. Yeah, that's the visualization that I'm seeing.
I think so. Yeah,
that's quite fun.
It's the bat with the arm hanging out of his mouth.
He's having a great time. Oh, like a dog, with a bone. It's like,
the detail on these guys. I mean, they look like little dioramas.
Yeah. Oh god, yeah. I mean, I'm fairly convinced that if we could see who sculpted these things, which I know Games Workshop doesn't do anymore, which is a massive shame, we would. Oh, absolutely, they should, because whoever made these needs to be bloody celebrated.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's the same guy who did the trolls and the squigs.
I can see that.
Spite. There's such a dynamic sense to the facial features.
Yeah,
it'd be really interesting to see how big the sculpting team is just in general for AOS.
Yeah.
Like, is it 5 guys? Is it 10 guys? Like, because like you say, there is like everything seems to fit. Like none of the, like you put this guy up, these cab against the Vampire Cavalry, the Chaos Cavalry, the Cities of Sigmar Cavalry, and you're like, no, they none of them look like they're from 10 years ago.
No, they look like they're part of the same world, don't they?
Yeah.
It all fits somehow. I mean, wow. As cavalry goes, these are so distinct.
I imagine the only fast units the Flesh Courts had beforehand were probably the Vargeist, right?
Yeah,
maybe the Crypt Horrors, but I don't think they're super.
But they weren't that fast. No, they weren't that fast. These guys are going to be like one of the big fast units, aren't they? The army.
Probably why there's only 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
I do love the fact that the sort of commander character, he's wearing one of the Cities of Sigmar helms. That just makes me so happy. It's just such a piece of smart design work.
Is that the one that's also wearing the head as well? He's wearing the helmet and the head.
No. Hang on. Let's have,
do you class the leader as the one with the banner?
No.
No, I see the one.
Down.
Yes. Yeah.
With the big spear.
With the RBT's helmet.
Yeah. Yeah, actually. That's probably what I like.
Actually, yes. He does have a slightly Arbites look about him, doesn't he?
But no, that's taken from the Cities of Sigmar kit, from their designs. So having that on there, it fits what you just said there. Everything feels like it fits together.
Yeah.
I am in love with these guys. I think these are absolutely superb. Just hitting it right out the park, which is exactly what the Flesh Eater Courts needed.
Yeah, it's banging, isn't it? And it's wonderful to see, one of the armies that's sort of cobbled together from the also rans from Fantasy Battle actually getting something this good, this dedicated.
Moving on. The Varghulf Court is
fucking time.
Yeah, it's about time.
Do you remember what the previous Varghulf looked like? The resin one?
I
was shit.
It's because it's ancient. It's really old. The original was metal.
It's interesting because this is not what I thought they do for a Varghulf, because I thought the Varghulf was going to look like the ones from Total War Warhammer, which is just like it's like the cavalry but bigger. It's like roided up. It's huge and just round. But this is not. This is This looks similar because I guess it is because it was Vargu filmed Curse City as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It looks like that, but way more lankier.
Yeah, it's spindly. That's what shocked me because like the previous Vargulf was a big old chunk of a beast, wasn't it?
Yep.
This feels much more spindly, and I love it. It feels you can feel movement in this miniature. You can see how it would walk. You can see how it would move and clutch at things. It's brilliant. I love it. This might be my favorite of the miniatures of that they previewed. You know, I think it's great. I think it's absolutely brilliant.
I love him, but he's not my favorite. We'll get to my favorite. Oh yes,
I
we
thought
will.
the big one would be your favorite, George.
Oh yeah, I like the big one. It almost goes without saying.
Okay,
Of the
normal
smaller,
ones.
of the normal ones, I think this guy's incredible. Oh, by the way, you're going to see a lot of Night Lord's Demon Prince is made out of this thing.
Yeah, I can see
Like,
that.
Yeah,
a lot.
that's a good point. Yeah,
A lot, because it looks like Night Haunter. You know,
Yeah.
it kind of looks like Night Haunter.
Oh man, really, really cool, and I love the entire idea. You know, I love how they've done this. So like with the what are they called? The Mordbeg Knights. Cavaliers of the most chivalric persuasion require powerful winged steeds to carry them into battle, descending from the heavens to sunder enemy ranks with a pulverizing charge. Many lords maintain stables of proud and noble Pegasi, while others boast of fearsome Draconith steeds, or claim to have mastered even stranger heraldic beasts. These all make fine mounts for the knights, their charges accompanied by a joyous ringing laughter that stupefies the gutless and craven.
Yeah,
that's
great.
Beautiful.
I'm wondering if the book is going to have this tone, where they're describing everything in these terms from the perspective of the delusion.
God, I hope so.
As long as it's not in the
fun.
rule part, if it's in the fluff part, yes, please do that. That'd be great.
I think that would be a very clever way of taking it, to be honest.
I mean, the Vargulf courtiers are wandering Templar champions who eschew the court to battle evil wherever they find it, blessed with preternatural fervor and strength, a purer purpose. I mean, and then you look at it and it's just, that's it. That's exactly it. They spend much time contemplating this somber duty, praying in secluded cloisters beneath the earth. They emerge only on the eve of battle to be adorned in beautiful garlands by the clergy, their saintly presence working the masses into religious fervor. Yes,
it's great. It's great, isn't it? The Flesh Eater courts are being set up as like equivalents to the Dawnbringer Crusade.
Yes, they are.
And the way they look at themselves, the way they perceive themselves, it's brilliant.
They're a more noble Dawnbringer, because the Dawnbringer, I don't know how much of the Dawnbringer stuff you guys have been following.
They're fucking fascists, is what they are. They are like theocratic fascists.
The Dawnbringer Crusades are a failure, but they just don't tell anyone that they're a failure. It's a really great idea that these Crusades are being sent out into the wilderness, but like 1% of them are succeeding. Brilliant. But they're like, they're actually making this point of, oh yes, we are bringing order to the wilderness, when the reality is most of them are dying alone, terrified and screaming in the night. Yeah,
being picked off by hedonites who love apparently to like race alongside them and just like casually, have that one.
There's something else going on as well. There's something out there that's like hunting them. It's good.
Like the entirety of the realms, presumably, because the realms are so hostile. Like everything in the realms is hunting them, presumably.
Well, Gruff, you'd know this better than us. Is it not these guys who would be hunting them?
I'm going to guess
to be the same.
I'm going to guess that that's what this is. Yeah, I'm going to guess that the pull is going to be that these guys are seeing the Dawnbringer Crusades as being invading armies, and they're fighting back.
Of course, which isn't wrong, right? The brilliant thing about that is that's true.
Yeah,
that's great. I mean, I love that. It's not part of their delusion. That's actually correct.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Age of Sigma, better than 40k.
Controversial. Woo.
I know, but honestly, I love Age of Sigma. Right, moving on. The Aberrant Cardinal. This guy.
What we said about the characters earlier. I mean, it's just spectacular.
Isn't he just the best?
Wow.
He's got everything. He's got a big hat, so you know he's got power. The bigger the hat, the more the power. he's dressed in these rags, these awful skin rags.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the frill. Yeah, he's got the ornamentation all over him, which is all just made of bone, and it's like, oh,
this is it, isn't it? This is what they're supposed to look like, right? This is the
yeah,
aesthetic that you get in your head when you read the background. It's brilliant.
This is what I want. These noble scions who exhibit the touch of divinity are sent to the cardinal order, where they learn from the precepts of the Summer King's faith and eschew any claim to material power, keeping their sires safe from a potential priestly rival. These spiritual leaders must pledge loyalty to Usheran alone and endure a sip of the rich king's blood wine from his consecrated chalice. Those whose faith is strong enough to find themselves able to enforce the Summer King's divine will with wondrous miracles will lead great missionary efforts into the barbaric wilds.
Again, missionary efforts like the Dawnbringer Crusade. So they're not static anymore, these kingdoms. These courts are expanding their own empires.
Yes. They're fighting back against the Dawnbringer Crusade.
Yeah, very interesting. It just makes them more dynamic, doesn't it? It makes them more interesting.
Honestly, I can't get across how much I just adore what they've done here.
It's exciting, isn't it? It's exciting. I want this book. I'm so interested to get my hands on this book.
Then we've got the Royal Decapitator, and I know that I don't often read through all of these, but they're just so good. You know, even the lowliest of villains are deemed worthy of an honourable death by the great justice and his court. But the royal decapitators who carry out such judgments do so with little hesitation. These merciless executioners are thought to be touched by the hand of Nagash and take up massive axes to deliver justice with terrifying zeal. In battle, these hooded headsmen march with single-minded focus, shrugging off arrows and lead shot as if warded by the undying king himself. Isn't it just perfect? Isn't it just so damn good?
Do you wonder how these guys look at the Nighthaunt executioners as like weird foreign brothers potentially?
Yeah. It's really. I mean, that's one of the most interesting things for me. It's how these guys interact with the other undead armies.
I would really like there to be a story where a noble family are dealing with dwarves and passing on riches and doing these trades, and you find out at the end they're trading with goblins.
Yeah.
Like trading mushrooms and stuff instead of gold and silver, the bones and mushrooms and glass.
That's the fun, isn't it? Like narratively, you can do so much. Like the temptation to write an entire story through the lens of the delusion and then reveal it at the end.
Yeah.
Just brilliant. Just beautiful.
Ghoulslayer has a bit of that.
A little bit, yeah. It's only right at the end, though, unfortunately, but it's really interesting.
But how he sees Gotrek as this like demonic force that needs to be put down.
It's not untrue, to be fair.
No, Gotrek is a fucking
demon. You know.
Yeah, honestly, the Flesh Eater Courts right now are the army that excites me the most. Which, Jesus Christ.
You bring up Ghoulslayer. They look more like what I imagine they should have looked like in Ghoulslayer than obviously what we had at the time. Yeah, I think this one might be one of my favorites out of the standard ones. I really like his little hooded face. I don't like the unhooded version. I like how it's just slightly hooded just over the one eye and it's kind of ripped over the other. It's not like a proper mask.
Yeah,
I wish the Crypt Guard again had a little bit more of this and the priest in them design wise, just a little, not all the way, just a little bit more.
Yeah, just a little.
That's my biggest disappointment.
Yeah.
No,
I'm gonna have to do something to them myself.
Yeah,
but
I
generally
think
speaking, right? As a line, it's so strong, isn't it? It's so strong.
And to come off the back of the Cities of Sigmar, which was a release that just got people absolutely frothing because it is so good. To like turn it round and turn it into this.
It's brilliant.
Such a smart idea.
It's and dynamically to make them opposed to the cities, like the dark, the through a mirror darkly version of them.
Yeah,
it's great. That's a brilliant idea.
Should we go on to?
Oh well, the preview box set is pretty good as well. It seems like it's going to be 2 boxes of Crypt Guard, one Varghulf Courtier, the one set of the bat horses, and the bat horses, and the big winged character. Did we talk about the big winged character? Is he in the story?
No, I think he was by. himself. Hang on a second. Let me just.
He did have his own story, yeah.
He did, and for some reason I don't have it. Oh,
Oh, okay. Shall we talk about him, and I'll try quickly to find him?
yeah,
Can
Yeah,
do,
that'd be
can do.
grand. That'd be
Alright.
grand.
I mean, he is
I'll-
really, really cool. Like so
Yes.
dynamic.
I mean, it's a brilliant mini. Again, characters, right? AOS in particular. I mean, I know I love the 40k characters, but there is something about characters in AOS. They ever since they did Zigfold, you know,
Yeah.
where they've just been firing on so many cylinders.
Well, I think that just the AOS design team in general has been just hitting everything. I don't think there's been a single AOS release since it kind of picked back up again that I haven't enjoyed. You know, there's
I haven't been like
everything.
intrigued by in some
Yeah.
way. You know that. Yeah, it's very impressive stuff.
What's his name? The noble seneschal. Seneschal. He's a seneschal. That's right.
Seneschal.
With his little
Lovely, lovely
keys.
word.
So yeah, the preview box set's pretty solid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's good, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
a really good, solid army, that is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and get that. And preview boxes are notoriously difficult to get. I think it's fair to say, generally speaking.
Yeah, they are. You're lucky to get one.
Yeah, but the seneschal I like because he looks like an evolved version of the what was he called? What was the last Flesh Eater Courts that we got character called?
Oh yes, the I can't remember what he was called.
Begin
but
with
I
an
remember,
A.
Yeah,
I think.
I remember
The
the minute.
Aberrant Ghoul King.
That's
No, it's
similar.
not that
yeah,
one.
something like that.
Argent.
Yes.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Something like that. Yeah, it looks like an evolution of him because he's got full bat wings and everything.
Well, it's
Lots of
lovely to
keys as
see.
well.
Isn't it lovely that you're getting like these gradations of the Ghoul Kings now? You're actually getting like ranks and titles, which fits their dynamic just so beautifully.
Yeah.
I've also realised that because it happened between recordings, we haven't spoken about the Grand Justice Gourmet neither. The Gore Warden who has a lot of intestines for a wig.
Oh, so good!
I think it's
so
cute,
good.
but I don't like the visual myself.
Oh,
I
you're
think
not
it's
a
because
fan of that one.
No, I think it's because I don't think those judges look very cool visually. I think it's a great idea, and I think I love the concept, and I think the execution's perfect. But in terms of like, do I think this is really cool for me? No, it's not.
Not your kind of thing. I mean,
No.
I love it. I think it's. I've got to think
I
about
get
the
why.
sense of humor. You know, I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
the sense of humor and the just how over the top it is.
Hmm.
I love it when they do that, when they go nuts with it, and they just lean into the absurdity.
He does have a ruffle as well, which is quite fun.
Yes, he has a ruff. It's like yes, more
It's
of
very
that,
done to there,
please.
but yeah.
More
No, like
of
I say,
that.
I think it's very good. It's just I
Not
think
your
it's
aesthetic, yeah.
it's literally just the big wigs have never done it for me. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
big wigs,
No.
so I might have to get this model and see if or make my own, so I can have a judge, but not have him with the big intestine wig.
Yeah. Oh man, I remember
You must
seeing
need
this
to change
one.
that frequently, right? Because that'll
'Cause it
dry
would
out and
rot.
shrivel.
Yes,
Yeah.
and shrivel and become. Well, I mean, I'm sure he wouldn't notice it becoming unpleasant, but yes, it would fall away. It would just go away, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You'd know it's
What you should-
shriveling up though.
What you should do, Andy, is get the one that's got the Judge Dredd style helmet from the Bat Knights, and have like one that's standing up really, really strong with a big jaw coming out, and just have like an undead Judge Dredd.
That'd be pretty fun.
I just love the fact that these guys apparently these are like the ones who maintain order in the in the flesh eater courts civilizations. They're like the arbiters of law and whatnot. You can imagine them wandering around like these graveyards of ghouls, kind of trying to order them together and like trying to talk to them when actually they're just shrieking like a bat. Yeah.
You're just poking them with his big weapon, going, eh.
If anything needed a Warhammer Plus series, it's the Ghoul Kings.
Yeah.
The Flesh Eater Courts, because these guys would just work so well in a visual medium. Like,
Yeah,
they
they
would
would.
work beautifully.
They so would. You could do so much with them.
You could do as a tragic horror or something like, or you could just do as a weird comedy.
Yes, funny. You could make it like a horror comedy. It would be brilliant.
Yeah, just every now and again the delusion slips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love his book as well. There's something about the book I think is really cool.
Or just all these bloody pages just falling out.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so good.
It's a
Should we
lovely thing.
Should we get onto the big guy?
The big one. I
Yeah.
mean, this is big in lots of ways as well,
Many.
isn't it? This is big in like narratively and mythologically as well. This is so significant.
I never thought we'd see Usheran.
No,
Never.
not at all.
Well, there are meant to be 9 Mortarks in total, aren't there?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like said once, but we've never had an inkling of the other 4 of
No.
them.
No.
And Usheron, I mean, Usheron has been around in the background for years.
Mm-hmm.
Years and years and years, and has never had a miniature.
No, I mean he was in like that when they separated the undead out into 3 different armies.
That's right.
Usheran,
Into when they became the vampire counts for the first time. That's when Usheron. I think he may have even been mentioned. Way back when in the before that. He may have been just mentioned like offhandedly, not as he wasn't a there was no such thing as Mortarks back then.
No,
He may have just been mentioned in the Warhammer Armies Undead book.
I will have to have a look into it.
I'm not sure, but I just have in the back of my head maybe there was like a throwaway line mentioning him. But he was certainly a character in Vampire Counts, the original Vampire Counts book, but never like had rules or anything like that. Never had a miniature.
No,
I mean, he was the father of the Strigoi vampires.
Yep, that's him. And oh my god, he is great. So the thing that absolutely blows my mind, and I'm annoyed that I didn't see it coming. The Summer King has been in all of the Dawnbringer Crusade books, right? So he's got like these pilgrims to go out to places, and there was a plague of despair that Nurgle released on the world, and the Summer King, by getting people to join him, dispelled the despair.
Right.
So by drinking of his blood, they broke through the despair. I mean, the despair plague was getting people to just lie down on the ground and starve to death. That's what it was doing to people. And the Summer King's harbingers, they were going out and they were getting people to drink from the chalice in order to dispel the plague and become part of his noble army.
Oh, isn't that interesting? So this is setting up the Flesh Eater courts against Nurgle as well.
Yeah.
Well, it's thanks to Nurgle that they're growing, pretty much.
Yeah. So delusion as an antidote to despair.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Isn't that amazing?
That's very cool. It does make sense. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
David says, do we think perhaps now that we've seen Usheron, we might see, say, the dude who founded the Blood Dragons, Abharash?
That would be really cool.
Very, very likely.
The original Blood Knight. Wow. I mean, he was an interesting one because he was mentioned ages ago, back at the beginning of the Age of Sigmar. He was mentioned as a joke. They said that he'd basically become Neferata's stable boy.
Yeah.
That was way back. I think that is not canon anymore. That's like from the beginning of AOS when everything was still a bit slightly silly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that.
So
now Abharash has been mentioned in the background. He is there. He is kicking about. But he is. The last time I remember him being mentioned, he was being summoned to Nagashazir.
Right. That's interesting.
When the before the Black Pyramid. So we're going back a while, but that's the last time I remember him being mentioned.
Would you do him as kind of the what they called with the dragon bodies or the Vargeist bodies? Would you have him as one of those mutants?
I don't think so.
No.
Because
you'd have him as normal rider.
Yeah, the whole thing with Abharash is that he's not a monster. He's a knight. He's a paladin, and he's actually, for a vampire, quite noble.
I just wondered if he would have changed, though, because that was Warhammer. I wondered if after the millennia he might have mutated. It might be a noble dragon monster creature. It might be like a Frankenstein kind of effect. So he's a monster.
Personally,
I don't know.
I think that would be a shame if they made him into a monster. I think that
would you have him riding on a dragon then?
Maybe. I think riding like a Yeah, riding a
Yeah.
dragon would be a great idea because
Hmm.
that's part of his background. They're called the Blood
Yeah, yeah.
Dragons because Abharash is the only vampire who's overcome the curse of the thirst, and he
Mhm.
did it by drinking the blood
Uh,
of a dragon.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was drinking dragon blood, right? So
That's
maybe
right.
they if they wanted to make him mutated by drinking too much dragon blood,
Maybe,
make him
maybe.
I don't,
You
who knows? Make him
I
a
you
big
mean,
could
character.
you could push that really well into like an armored winged creature.
mhm,
Hmm.
You know, like it has the nobility of the armor,
mhm,
but then these massive wings, and then just have him like sweeping towards an enemy with the sword
mhm.
out, and just really pushing it into like a this is what he is now. That the blood of the dragon has
Yeah.
turned him into this.
I mean,
But
you
also,
know.
almost think, George, of the Black Blade from Elden Ring. Do you remember that boss?
Oh yeah, yeah, yes, I remember that boss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe I would think design him kind of like that. His second
yeah.
phase where he takes the robe off and has the big armor, like
Mhm.
Griff said.
I
I
think that
mean,
could work actually. That could work. I mean, it's interesting because if they do bring him back, I'd be very interested to see how they characterize him because
Hopefully
he
the same.
hates Nagash.
Hmm.
He's not a fan of Nagash Abharash, or wasn't anyway way back when.
no, no. I
So
think
it would be fascinating to
if they
see,
were
and he also
smart,
hates the other vampires as well. He finds them conniving, cowardly monsters. You know,
I mean, it's not wrong.
he's not wrong. No, he's
Especially
not wrong.
Manfred, and
Yeah,
Neferata.
yeah.
mhm.
Vlad's not there, so it's not like you can counter with, oh, well, Vlad's all right. It's
Mhm,
like he's not there, so.
I
mhm.
mean, if Vlad was around, he would be the Mortark of badassery.
Oh,
You know,
man.
Yeah, yeah. I'd love them to bring Vlad back. I was gonna say Brad, then that's not right.
yeah, Brad von Karstein, the
Yeah.
brother that you didn't know about. Yo, man, I'm Brad von Karstein, man.
But no, I
What's
mean
going on? Oh, yeah,
Usheron. Oh,
yeah, Usheron.
Jesus. I mean, this is a candidate for Mini of the Year, isn't it? I mean, like, my God,
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's
he
amazing.
he is incredible. He
He's
is
so
like,
big.
yeah,
He's huge, yeah, he's hulking. I mean, Usheron is slightly different from the other vampire Mortarks as well, because he's basically like a demigod in and of himself.
hmm
He's like the demigod of delusion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to what he's like as well, like what he does on the battlefield.
Oh,
'Cause
rules wise, you mean?
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, because I'm
Mm.
thinking he's gonna have like an aura of delusion around
Yeah,
him, you know,
I
that
would agree.
affects
He has to be
both
able to affect stuff.
enemies
Yeah.
and allies, buffs allies and debuffs enemies.
Oh no, this is interesting. So in the book, The Mad King Rises. That's such a good name.
Mhm, mhm.
In Act 3, the Crusade runs afoul of Lauke Vai's Vengorian courts, and in
Ah.
Ghyren, it marches deep into Usheran's domain of New Summercourt. Um,
Mhm.
so okay, right, this is going to be interesting. Slave to violence and propriety, Usheran extends hospitality to all those who enter his kingdom,
Brilliant.
imploring
Aw.
guests to participate in extravagant feasts. Jesus Christ.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it.
Trauma has not impinged his sense of gallantry and virtue, but the limits of his magnanimity are being tested, which may spell disaster for the twin-tailed crusade.
Fantastic. Yeah, I love this.
So, one of the things I found really interesting about his background, if I can just find it again. Here we go. Once the greatest and noblest champion of Nagash, Usheran was brought low by some cruel twist of fate, transfigured into a swollen Goliath afflicted with an unquenchable thirst. It took the combined might of the other Mortarks to subdue their cursed comrade and return him to their master. So what is going on there? Nagash in his beneficence sequestered Usheran within a mysterious temple named the Shroud Cage, doubtless to heal his faithful servant. Yet vile rumours had already begun to spread that Usheran's sophistication and fair countenance had never been anything but a mere illusion, masking the visage of a blood-mad ghoul of unimaginable power. So,
Slander and calumny, right?
No, yeah. So what I really want to know is what was that? What was the thing that brought him low? And yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by his backstory.
Mm.
Yeah, because the last time I heard, he was imprisoned, but then he escaped his prison. I think that was one of the earlier AOS codexes, wasn't it?
That's
Yeah,
right.
He
He
was trapped
was
in a tower or something.
something
Yeah.
like that, and he's been wandering ever since, right?
Yeah, that's the first Flesh Eater Courts.
But that
book.
seems
Yeah.
like dynamically
one.
different now, right? It's with this one, it looks like he's got like a kingdom, like an
Yeah.
entire kingdom, a
Yeah.
culture almost.
What's really cool is the place that he's taken over, the kingdom he's made. He's named he calls it a name that it hasn't had for centuries. And it's one of the cool things in the Dawnbringer Crusades where I can't remember what Caprilia or something like that it's called. And whenever his little harbingers have gone out and they speak about the Summer King's kingdom, the people around him just go, "What? Where's that at?" Or it hasn't been called that for centuries. Why have you taken that name again?
Interesting.
And, oh god, I'm so annoyed I didn't realize it was Usheran. It was like it's so obvious in hindsight.
I mean, it's significant on a narrative level as well, isn't it? Him coming back, it's going to change the dynamic of the Flesh Eater Courts completely, but also of the undead, because like Usheran's relationship to Nagash and the other undead armies is really strange.
Oh yeah, well, it's really strained.
It's strained and complex, and they obviously they don't get on. He doesn't like the other Mortarks.
Nope, no, because they beat him up.
I think the only one who probably would maybe have some connection to is Laukavai.
Mm-hmm.
She's kind of similar.
The mother of nightmares.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see what the dynamic is between the two of them.
Me too.
Read the book.
Yeah, well, I will. I will read the book because the Dawnbringer Crusades, much like the Broken Realms books, are fucking brilliant.
Oh no, I meant a Black Library book.
Oh right,
a Black Library book, right.
Yeah, to get more. Because we know the Dawnbringer book 4 is coming and it's his book.
Yeah,
it's his book, and that's what they were building towards, right? This is the big event, obviously.
Now, I'm not sure because they said there was going to be 4 of these, but whenever they talk about the book 4, they say the Mad King Rises is the next chapter of Dawnbringers.
Oh right, okay, not the last chapter.
No, it doesn't say this is the final chapter.
That's interesting.
Now, as far as I'm aware, there was only ever going to be 4. But this is what threw me during the week of. Is there going to be a 5th?
It'd be strange if they did a 5th because this seems like your end cap, your big model.
Yeah,
because Dragnus was the last one, and he was your last big model. So
I don't really know how you top this, quite frankly. Like on a narrative level, I don't know how you top this. It's such a big thing to happen.
It really is, and I don't know. It has to be the last book. I can't see.
What's Nagash going to feel about this? Because Usheran, he's not that fond of, is he? Usheran, he wanted sealed away.
Nagash is still in bits.
Oh, is he? Is he still scattered to the void at the moment?
Oh, I thought you meant emotionally.
Emotionally,
well, little column A, little column B. Nagash is still in bits. Just Teclis is. When Teclis actually did something, although as we all know, my theory that it's not actually Teclis, because Teclis in AOS has actually started succeeding in things, which is my belief that Tyrion.
Suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah, Tyrion just brought him back, but it's not actually him. That's
not necessarily, because if Nagash comes back even stronger, then you could argue that he fucked up by killing him or blowing him up.
Yeah, that's true.
Potentially.
Very, very true, actually. I love everything about Usheran.
Yeah,
he has blown my mind.
It's one of the most perfect miniatures they've ever released.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just sublime.
Yeah.
And some of the other Mortarks maybe need some updates now.
They definitely do.
Definitely
do. Neferata looks kind of poop now, and Manfred looks really poop.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem, that Neferata, Manfred, and Arkan the Black are all built out of the same kit.
Well, Arkan, you told me, is dead. Like, super dead.
Yeah.
But I know what you mean. He's as dead as the narrative needs him to be for the moment.
He'll be back
But he'll be back with a new model. That's an excuse to give him a new model, at least.
Yeah.
But Manfred desperately needs it for being such a conniver. And Neferata. They're both conniving bastards.
Neferata was the original vampire.
Yeah.
She was the first one to drink the elixir of life, so she deserves a brilliant miniature, an amazing miniature.
I mean,
so does Manfred. Manfred destroyed the world that was. It was through his conniving that it was destroyed. So, yeah.
Bring Arkan back on a Manticore chariot, says Big D. And his true name was revealed to be Dietrich. I knew it.
That That would make me so happy. I mean, in all honesty,
Or if Heinrich came back, that would make me happy.
That's one I honestly felt. I felt a couple of times they were going to bring Kemmler back.
I would love them to bring Kemmler back. I think he's one of my favorite characters from the old Fantasy Battle.
Kemmler's ace. I mean, he's like the original character from Fantasy Battle.
Yes, he is, isn't he? He's one of the. Yeah, he was the original character, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah, the Lich Lord. That was the entire basis for the first ever Warhammer Fantasy Battle campaign. The Vengeance of the Lich Lord. Yeah. Yeah, Kemmler's ancient, and it seems like a shame to just leave him on the shelf.
Yeah, it does,
especially
doesn't it?
because he could be the science of necromancy. You know, he's the one that like his armies are all like stitched together and run on electricity type madness.
And make him mad. He's supposed to be really, really bonkers, isn't he? Like, Kemmler. He spends like entire centuries, does he, just wandering, forgotten to himself.
Yeah, forgets who he is. Goes and like sits in a cave for 100 years and just do. Oh yeah, hi, necromancer.
That's it is difficult because narratively, in the end times, he declared for chaos, didn't he?
He did.
You know, he saw what Nagash.
So did Isabella.
Yeah, that's well. To be fair, Isabella, it wasn't really her fault.
No, she was a little sad. Yeah.
There's
quite a few people that declared for chaos in the end times.
Well, to be fair, in the end times, you might as well, because chaos was winning. Like, you know, everything was being destroyed by chaos. You may as well declare for them.
Yeah, they just finished the last of the end times books. Actually, the last of the novels. It's a very, very sad ending, actually. And I don't just mean it when boom. It's when everything's in place and you just kind of go, oh, I feel sorry for everybody I've just been on this journey with.
Yeah. Because they kind of failed, don't they? Apart from Archaon, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely they failed. You know, and the fact you've actually got Nagash standing there toe to toe with Sigmar just going, yeah, but
yeah.
It's a really, really good series of books. Thoroughly enjoyed them. And I just like how much the Skaven kicked the shit out of everybody.
Yeah.
Well, they pulled their fingers out and did something.
Yeah.
Not against themselves for a change.
Yeah, which is the big change, isn't it?
I mean, the fact that Queek Headtaker is the entire reason that the Dwarf Kingdoms fell is just beautiful.
Like, speaking of the Skaven, they need this treatment, don't they, now?
Yep. Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Need this treatment.
If that rumor about it being like something for a future edition, well, then it'd be saved for that.
It does seem to be like
who's the next big army apart from Malarian and his guys? Like they're the next army that needs like from the quote unquote evil side.
Yes, that's true.
That could do that, so it would be a good idea to do it for that, I would imagine.
Yeah, the Skaven definitely need a massive overhaul. There's
Skaven versus dwarves, and that's a decent. It won't be. It'll be Skaven versus Sigmar, but
yeah.
Skaven versus dwarves. Like you reinvent all of the crap fire dwarves as well. You put the new stuff in a big box set, and it's like, okay, there you go. New rats and new dwarves, classic.
Well, I think the Fire Slayers are going to get a bit of an overhaul at some point.
Good.
There's a thing throughout the Dawnbringer Crusades. There's this, the Troggoth King. He has just been like smashing through dwarven strongholds, like Fire Slayer strongholds, and you've got these last remnants of the strongholds, all the different Fire Slayer clans, and they've got the final ember of their people in these little jars, and they're just running, trying to keep this ember going. It's like they're the last of their kind, and they're just they're dotted all over the place. So
no, that is interesting. So it sounds like they may be having a resurgence at some point, or a slight recreation.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do with them, but it does feel like they are a race who is very much on the decline. Yeah, they are losing, massively losing, like losing everything. Well, if you think about it, they are the last of the dwarves that still have the underground hold, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other dwarves went up into the sky and went, fuck you, bye.
Yeah.
What if Grom bursts through and tells them to put on some goddamn clothes and armor, and it turns it all the way around for them? They just become normal dwarves again.
Oh, they become like the old fantasy battle dwarves with gyro.
The good dwarves, which are great. They don't need to be changing. Dwarves are great. They've got cannons and guns, and they're slow.
Well, I think
I hated fighting them back in fantasy battle.
Oh yeah,
Everybody hated fighting them.
I think the way to do it is you turn them more elemental.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
they
that's
get
the way to do it for the
Yeah.
for the Fire Slayers. Yeah, that is definitely the way to do it.
you really push that elemental fire feel to them.
Yeah.
That's how you make them work. Right. So I think that's really about it
What
for
else can you
us.
say about this? I mean, it's hard to emphasize, isn't it? Just how good this miniature is.
Well, it's everything. AOS is hitting on all cylinders at long bloody last.
Mhm.
You know, it's 2 years it's taken them to
Mhm.
finally get stuff moving again. The Cities of Sigmar have been amazing. The new
Yeah.
Ghoul King, the Flesh Eater Court stuff has been fantastic. The Dawnbringer Crusade books are
Yeah.
exceptionally good. There's so much stuff in those. Everything AOS is just going, and
It's lovely to
so
see.
good.
It's lovely to see at long last, you know.
Yeah.
I desperately want to see more people involved in it, you know. I want because it deserves it. It deserves it.
It's like I made the comment before, AOS is better than 40k, and that's not a joke in my eyes. When things happen in AOS, the lore is better. The miniatures just sing to me. I mean, this is my own personal opinion rather than abject fact. But everything AOS does is just, it hits so well, and it's so weird to me that you had that lull of, and here's Kragnos.
Yeah.
There's dragons. And then literally a 2-year gap where the Seraphon turned up and there was no fanfare.
Yeah.
No.
They just, here's a new Seraphon.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And they were so damn good as well. They were so damn good.
And then you get Iden's Cryptborn comes out on a dragon, and it's like, wait, is that the connecting gap? Is that what's been missing? You had dragons, and then you had the Dragon Brothers, gap, Seraphon, gap, Iden's Cryptborn on a dragon. It's like, was all this meant to happen at once or something? It weirds me out. And then Cities of Sigmar, then this is it. This is AOS finally getting the wheels moving, and it's brilliant. It's perfect.
It's really good. It's really good to see.
I love it. I love it so much, guys. I love it. I'm here for every single dripping word that they want to give me. I'm having it. I love it. It's beautiful.
I just want a release date now, just to give an idea of when these things, the Dawnbringer Book 4 is coming out, because they didn't really say, did they?
No.
Do we have an idea of when it might be happening? Because it's not this weekend. The pre-orders aren't going to go. I would hope.
It's not this weekend. It's definitely not this weekend.
Book 3's been out 2 weeks, so I'm going to say middle December.
Ah, fuck. Okay, I'm going to have to save money.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Yeah.
I've got to get the damn books. I need them all.
Yeah. Oh, they're so good.
And I want that. I want that Harbinger of Despair model. He's so damn good. The Nurgle one.
Yeah, he's good.
I love that. I've still got the original, the metal one. You know, from way, way, way back when. But this one, woof.
Yeah, he's great.
Actually, the Maggotkin in general, I love that range. Love it.
Oh man, honestly, read that first. The Harbinger's book in Dawnbringer Crusades.
Is it good?
You will fall in love with the shit they're pulling.
Great.
Literally?
Oh yeah, literally.
Well, it's Nurgle, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What was really cool about that first book is you have excerpts from Callus and Toll's diaries, and like letters that go back and forth between them and the Order of the Silver Hand. Is it the Silver Hand? Whatever it is, the secret order that they're a part of, and it describes everything on a global scale, and the book really just pinpoints everything that's happening with the Despair Plague, and then you've got the little letters which gives you an idea of the personal level, like the street level of what's going on, and the two just work so well in tandem. You know, having that, here is everything that's happening in the world, in the realm, and then you've got the letters, and this is what's happening on this street, on this corner right now.
Brilliant.
And it's
brilliant.
More of that. That is perfect.
Yeah.
Because I honestly, I was going into them going, well, are these going to be as great as the Broken Realms books were?
As the Broken Realms, that's the fear, isn't it? Because the Broken Realms, apart from Kragnos, which was a bit of a damp squib, brilliant.
Yeah, well, I mean, the Bellicor book.
Absolutely one, you know.
Yeah, the Bellicor book, I said for a long time, that is the best book that Games Workshop's ever put out. It is beautifully done.
It's really
And
good.
to be honest with you, I think they've taken that as a challenge because the Dawnbringer books are really, really good.
Excellent.
We need to actually sit down and go through them at some point because the lore in there is superb.
Oh, I've got to read them. Gotta read them.
So I think with that, then we could go into the other stuff, but I think we'll leave it for now because we are running really late and it's quite late on. And if you guys are still listening, I'm impressed. Well done. So with all that being said, then Andy, where can people find you if they want to resurrect your corpse as a brand new Ghoul King named Andy the Brave?
Anderon, Usheron D. Rue. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube as Decayed Andy, rotten corpse of a person rather than a 10-year period. You can also find me on the Moonbase 2 podcast, where I talk about Transformers each and every week, hopefully. And I think that's the important stuff done and dusted.
Mr. George, if people wanted to drive a stake through your heart to stop you from resurrecting yourself and becoming a brand new plague upon humanity, where would they find you?
Well, for a start, that wouldn't work. It requires much more elaborate stuff to stop that. But you can find me over at YouTube on Exaggerated Elegy. Lots of video game Let's Plays, lots of podcasts about media and horror and cinema and literature and whatnot. You can find links to all of my published work over at strangeplaygrounds.com, or if you go to Amazon, you can, if you type in my name, George Daniel Lee, you'll find all of my short story collections and published short stories in anthologies and stuff like that. There's a couple of new ones coming up from Kevin J. Kennedy Productions. There's a collection of monster kaiju horror stories that I have a story in, and there's also a collection of science fiction stories that I have a story in as well, which is really cool. If you go over to Arrow Films, you will find the new Hellraiser Blu-ray set, The Quartet of Torment, and myself and my colleague Kit Power actually feature on the Hellbound disc on a featurette called Hell is What They Wanted, which is an 85-minute long chat about Hellbound. Brilliant fun, absolutely amazing that was.
I need to get that ordered.
It's actually really, I mean, I know I'm a bit biased because I'm on it, but it's if you're a Hellraiser fan, it's the best set because there's just so much stuff. There's well over 100 hours worth of content. It's absurd.
Nice.
That's extra content, by the way. That's not the films. That's extra content. It's ridiculous. If you fancy chatting, I'm over at Blue Sky under Exaggerated Elegy. It's still on Twitter for now. We'll see how that goes. Again, Exaggerated Elegy. And I think that's it for me.
Why do I get you to go before me? Because honestly, it's like, how do you follow that? How do you follow any of that? Hello, my name's Adam, and I like to go on the internet. You can find the Fluffenhammer on Twitter, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, Facebook, Discord, and I'm sure I'm missing one there.
You can do the Patreon.
Oh, and the Patreon, yes.
The Patreon, the Patreon.
The Patreon. I'll do the Patreon separately. Thank you very much, my dear. All under the Fluffenhammer. You can find our Patreon under patreon.com/the Fluffenhammer, where me and George, tomorrow it'll be released, actually, on the 25th, sit around and we talked about the first two releases of the new 40k book, which has books, codexes, which is rather good fun.
That was brilliant. The Tyranids and the Space Marines,
We got deep into the weeds on that one. That was good fun.
Really went for the deep dissection on those ones.
Yeah, and that was good. I like that.
It was. We'll have to do it again for the others,
Absolutely. And I think next month, all things going well, me and Second Ed, who he's going to have that name now, from Ed Paints Minis.
That's a good one.
From Ed Paints Minis, we're going to be looking at issues of White Dwarf and also seeing what was happening in the larger world, seeing what was at number one in the movies, which is like, I shared that with you, Andy, didn't I? What was number one in June 1997?
Oh, that's right.
And just going, oh man, these are the best films ever. I mean, probably at least 3 of them are good, but all 10 of them are just the best films ever. Even the shit ones, So you can find all of them on the Patreon, and you can find my personal art, writings, and silliness over at adnickel.weebly.com. And the thing I actually was trying to remember but forgot to mention was you can go to the fluffenhammer.com, where every day there is an article. Every single day an article is shared out. Every day. And I've done that now for 400 days.
Wow.
Please, God, let me die.
That's, yeah. That's extensive, that is.
And on the weekends, you get big, fancy new things like the Dawnbringer Chronicles gets released every Saturday. Necromunda Historica is coming back this Sunday, and there's another series of that running. Also, this week, I am releasing Tales from a Future Crime, which is a fake cyberpunk book, which made me laugh my ass off. So that's coming out. That'll be out on Sunday as well. Also, you get the Heavy Metal Galleries, where I have been going through every issue of White Dwarf since the Heavy Metal pages began and releasing them and talking about them. Every issue. I am on 122 now.
Wow.
Let me die. So, with all that being said, we're going to get out of here. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Andy, Mr. George.
Brilliant, Snurty. Always fun.
And thank you at home for listening, if indeed you still are. Good
Thanks,
night.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.